Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is an illicit Friday stream. We're not here for Thursday afternoon, or Thursday evening. Let me try that again. We normally stream on Thursday, but we didn't. So we said we'd stream on Friday, and we've quickly run into an issue. So you see going on behind me, far, far away in a land named Italy, in Bergamo, it is the EMEA Continentals. And today is the team tournament, the Throwback tournament. And so it's being streamed on Null Signal Netrunner. You can watch it. It's what's going on behind me. Now, it doesn't have any audio. There's no commentary. So I don't know whether they was not planned to set this up today because they're going to be streaming the whole weekend because the main event starts tomorrow. But it's really cool. I don't know who these players are. I think on the right, there's a chance this is an NWE playmat. So this might be Felix playing some Criminal, playing some Sable. That's classically what he's known for. I don't know the player on the left, but there's a Hermes necklace going on. So it's pretty sick. I don't know what ID that is. But if you want to watch this, please go watch it. It is live. This is a VOD. This will be up later. I'm pretty sure this will end up being online later too. But I kind of like, I reached out to Etienne on short notice to be like one of the organizers to say like, hey, can I do live commentary for this thing? Because I would do live commentary right now because it definitely deserves it. This looks like a really fun thing. So we're right now waiting for a response. So we're not going to idle on this page too long. But if you want to watch it, please go watch it. I got it on, but it's been hard to follow. Yeah, yo, Supernon, enjoy your work from home. I imagine specifically this one's a bit tricky to follow, not only because, well, obviously commentary would help, but because there's a bunch of throwback cards. So the way the format works is you're allowed to play a full playset of a card from Netrunner's old. So either a rotated card, I think even banned cards were allowed. This is the last round, Gelhar. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so it'll be over soon. So we'll feel a bit better about it. But like, for instance, Temujin Contract is in the discard bin over here. I'm not sure what corporation this is. Like, that's not easy to follow. I think there's a chance it's Ob, considering we saw Svigator wall-to-wall and build border control so far. This is, that's a career fair, right? There's another Temi marking archives. So, yeah, this one definitely commentary would help because there's a lot of cards that you might not be familiar with. Please do confuse commentary in the game. I had no idea what's happening. Hey, droids. Also, D, hello, sir, madame. I represent the state of Mr. Georges Bizet, attached to the cease and desist. Hopefully you're doing well, D. Excited yet confused noise. Lucas, I thought you were at EMEA for some reason. I take it you're not. How's it going? The heck is this? Sorry, man, I can't hang on Friday. I gotta wash my hair. Yo, Patrick, real talk. The Dice Owl, today is its last day. It's closing, unfortunately. So I'm ending the stream at 3 just to go over to the Dice Owl to see what's going on, because one of my beloved board game stores, which has changed management, today is their last day, so we're going to go pop in. And Arco, side stream hype. I don't have permission to do this, so like I don't want to do this. I want to do this, but like it was a short notice that I reached out to be like, this is going on. So we're technically doing an illicit side stream. So currently judging, I'm there. Oh, very, very cool. Gelhard, can you ask, is it possible to ask someone who's in charge whether we can do an illicit side stream just to do commentary? Early stream. Hey, Aku, how's it going? We're going to stream today on a Friday morning for us. It is the 28th of June for a couple hours. We're going to be streaming maybe 4 or 5 hours. Just because, again, we didn't have a stream yesterday. That's too bad. I only went once because it was on the other side of town for me. Yeah, the store used to be really, really great. There used to be 2 dudes who started the store. They since left to return to South America. Just fantastic people. They ran such a fantastic store, and then the store was bought by somebody else, and since then I haven't been going a lot, and I don't think the store's been doing that well, so it's a bummer. I'll check. Thank you. I love the pirate radio commentary stream. Smoke be proud. EMEA is far and expensive. It is a bit far. It is a bit expensive, that's for sure. I'm so stoked for those who are there and jealous as well. It seems really, really quite cool. On that note, tickets are up for Worlds. I just recently bought my flight and my hotel, and I don't need a Worlds ticket because I'm a volunteer. And I got the volunteer message to be like, you're signed up. So I'll see y'all at Worlds this year if you're going. Please come and say hi. But all that stuff is getting really hype right now. A lot of people are locking that stuff down. Hopefully you're considering it. And if not, if it doesn't make sense, reach out to run together. There's a lot of ways to help make accessibility to Worlds a bit better. Okay. So board state. This white card, this is our illegal stream. That's a cupulation, assuming that it's holding the Svigator excavator. This is Sable. Sable's rolling a mark die. Blue, I believe, is HQ. Green is R&D. Red is archives. And we have Hermes. Now, the Rotato card that we're playing here, the throwback card, is this card called, I forgot the name, Temujin Contract. Temujin Contract is basically what red team is now, but imagine it's absolutely cracked. It is mark a server when you install it. It has 20 credits on it. It costs 4 to install, and every successful run you get $4 off of it. So yeah, it's just free money. It doesn't even take a click like red team, so you just see it. It's marked on archives. That's an old femme fatale token. So anytime that our runner here runs archives. Do you know who the gamers are? I don't, which is also an awkward position for commentary because I don't know names or pronouns. So I'm just going to say the corp and the runner. I can tell you the runner is playing Sable, and they're an NWE player because this is an NWE playmat. I'm guessing there's a chance that this is Felix, considering that kind of lines up with the Venn diagram of NWE players. The left player is wearing a Hermes necklace. They're playing, I'm pretty sure that's Op, but I'm not familiar with this alt art, but it looks like Op. It says you can comment the game. Ah, Gailhard, thank you, merci. Okay, we're in. We're now for a illegal commentary stream. Let me just crack this out. I don't think I need my camera. F it, the corner's fine. A little fly is crawling across the playmat. So let's try and commentate this game. I think we'll go here. Worlds is slightly less far and less expensive. See you there. Yo, I'm excited to see you there then. Fantastic. So the op deck, from what I've seen so far, and we've missed a couple turns for sure, hasn't been doing too much. We saw wall to wall, we saw Svigator, so it's a slightly more on the asset side. I believe 1 round ago we got to see Tuno on stream, and Tuno is playing, mind you, one of the strongest cards you can play in Throwback is Estelle Moon. If you're not familiar with Estelle Moon is just incredibly cracked, and specifically in this format, when you play Estelle Moon, who's a 2-coster that you can trash her at instant speed to get a lot of money, a lot of card draw, you can get a 1-coster from op. And it is incredibly popular in Eternal. Estelle Moon is one of the most well, just one of the strongest cards in the entire format. But then Op, it's really, really good. I don't think for the corporation we've seen an Estelle Moon yet, but that's a big thing with this format is you want to kind of pay attention to see what sort of their throwback card is. Triple advance here, above the law scored out, so it's just an eminent domain. So this actually is very likely to be similar to Tuno's deck. The sort of like, let's see what we get here, an archer, let's see if we can get a hostile architecture or infrastructure or something like that. So this 3-1 says when it's scored, search your deck for a card, install and res it for free. Often you'll see Archer remote server. Central servers are looking pretty okay right now. And then we're going to try and get something like usually a Holloman in the remote server and use that to start scoring out some of the bigger agendas like SDS drone deployments, which mind you, looking at board state, this is a criminal deck. It probably only has one of each breaker. So losing the Carmen is going to be a bit rough. Mind you, Carmen also doesn't break Archer that well. You spend up to like 8 credits. It's 2 boosts for 3 if I'm not mistaken. So 3, 6 just to get the strength. I think a boost to 5. Oh, wow. We're getting for a corporate town. So very rare card, you see. This was in some of the Tuno's lists, and this says at the beginning of your turn, trash a resource. And while the resources on the other side of the table are definitely very good, we can go ahead and empty the Temujin by just running archives. I honestly don't know if that's that big of a threat here. The question is whether the runner can get through the border control into the face down ice. In theory, you have to respect Archer now, but on 2 credits, you can probably just send it into the border control, and you have to run twice when it becomes a sandstone or a code gate. If you need, I can go to the streaming room and check stuff. Oh, I think it's okay, Gailhar. Appreciate it. Temujin into Siphon, a truly turn-based turn 1. I think you're not going to see any Siphon. I think by definition, there's only going to be one, right, throwback card. So it looks like if there's diversion, there's diversion. Border control trading a diversion is a mediocre trade. The 3-coster definitely helps with op. But it looks like the mark here is R&D. So we're going to start with 2 credits off our daily casts, and we can win in 2 touches with stealing the above the law, one of the 2 pointers here. Even pinhole threading means this corporate town is not like particularly fantastic. I'm not sure the interaction with pinhole threading and Temujin contract. I think it probably works in the way that you want it to work in the best way possible. But this corporate town is, I think, very expensive to trash. It's either 4 or 5 to trash. It is quite costly. And if it's going to keep around your daily cast, it already kind of pays for itself, and then it trashes everything else on the table. Class act can go, but Temujin with 12 credits on it, you probably want to protect it a slight bit here. So we would have to see Boomerang, double inside job on the remote server. We're going to just run archives, see it face down, get 4 credits. That's an Archer in the bin. So I'm actually not sure if Eminent Domain lets you install from hand. There's a chance that the corporation had the Archer in hand and wanted to go for it. But second best option here is the corporate town to slow things down for the runner. Again, we have that. That's a Chesva if you're not familiar with that blue altar. Dr. Nuka coming down with some power counters. Those are really old power counters. I have 2 playsets of them. If anyone has a 3rd playset they want to part with, I use them for board games. They're fantastic. But that means the player here has been playing for at least since 2016. So we're looking at an old school NWE player for sure. Legal Grid stream. It is, Lucille. Welcome. Who plays Corporate Town? Wild. The Corporate Town showed up as in Tuna's list for the last couple iterations, and I've actually enjoyed it a fair bit. It's one of the ways that you can deal with, all the upgrades, right? Or sorry, all the resources. Like, my head. What's his name? The one that lets you run and break stuff. Banhar, right? Like, it's just good. It lets you deal with DJ Fenris. It's obviously trashing resources is good, but it felt quite nice in this matchup. Now we have 2 clicks left here. Class Act, second install. Did that come down? I had to look away when I struggled to remember Banhar's name. Excuse me, this was going to be a bit more loose. We're drawing up again with Nuka. There's a big chance here that we're diving. Okay, it looks like Nuka just took the corporate town on the way out. So leaving 4 credits on each of those other resources. Mind you, I could see why you don't want to trash the 4. Getting another 3 cards and a scry with Class Act feels pretty good, but we can see a bit of the corporation's hand there. I think we just see an ice wall is the only one I can make out. Mind you, I'll be clear, this is not my stream if you're just tuning in. This is on twitch.tv/nullsignal.netrunner. This is the Italian stream the folks from EMEA Continentals are putting up. It was more streaming all weekend. This is just the team tournament, which is generally a bit more of a casual vibe because it has some wacky rules on top of it. But if you want to tune in tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of great Netrunner as well. So you see the hand here. The question is, what do you push out? Icing up R&D? Again, that is not the marked server. Archives is still marked. It's really cool to see players who've played with some of these new powerful cards and then other players figuring out these new powerful cards. Like, how do you place Temujin? Do you put it on archives and just get free value? There's Kurapira. Now, we have a lot of money here, 15 credits. So if we run the remote server, there's nothing we're really worried about, even if it's a big Archer or a Stavka. No 3-costers. So we can kind of deal with that. And it looks like we're going for a Bravado. HQ seems to be it. We can break with Chesva, get that Kurapira charge, which is pretty nice. Some corporations will preemptively trash the border control to get a 3-coster just so you're not farming the Kurapira, but I'm not actually sure if this deck is running envelopment or any of the bigger barriers where Kurapira has a real downside against you. So we'll see if this just goes through or whether you get a 3-coster. You can go trash the border control and just put in the remote server if you want, something like a Holloman. But now the really weird thing is we're at this Cold War where there's a corporate town in server 1. So there's a chance our runner can just wait until you want the remote server to win the game on an actual like points-based axis, and then you trash your own corporate town. It looks like it's going to go. I don't think we're going to break it. We're going to get our money here, not opting to use Ops ability, so HQ is now wide open. It looks like R&D is the mark on the green die. The runner should get used to this Vigator on the accumulation. Oh, get use of it. Yeah, they might be going for it now. Mind you, that was cracked for Op, excuse me, so Afshar is coming down. We do not have a decode gate answer. Afshar is a code gate. Costs 3 to res, as you would expect after a border control goes, and has 2 subroutines. The last one ends the run. The first one loses 2 credits if able. No, not if able, just lose 2 credits. But the big thing is it's code gate, so we have to figure it out. We're charging R&D here. Again, with 18 credits, you're not too worried about too much. 4 credits is still Archer or Stavka, but just an Ice Wall. Gonna break for 1 off the coffee, charge the accumulation, single axis off the top. Looks like a piece of ice, looks like a Spin Doctor, actually. Gonna trash that with another piece of Chesva. And we're running the remote server now. So it's really nice to charge the remote server once Op has been fired on the first border control. And we don't have a missed bone, so we're going to be paying, I believe it's 4 to 5 credits. So it is incredibly expensive to deal with the corporate town. And now we see the hand. I think we see an extract. I do think there's an agenda in there. It looks like maybe a slash and burn. And then we do see a hearts and minds. So this is, as much as it hasn't shown off to look like a really acid heavy matchup, this is one of the more acid heavy op decks for sure. And whether we're just waiting for a Stell Moon so that we install Stell Moon and then build 2 new remote servers, which is the clause she cares about, there's a chance our corporation here is just waiting to draw the good stuff to push off. Top of R&D is unknown. Kurapira at 2 charges. Our runner feeling comfortable putting down a second Chesva of coffee. That's going to be 4 credits to use on central servers. And that actually really helps in an acid matchup. Because if you're hammering R&D, you can trash cards and just see more cards. We're going to start with an extract, going to get a 0-coster, whether it's a Spin Doctor here, or just put a Rashida in the remote server. Icing up R&D is generally kind of valuable, of course, against those clickless runs from Mark Synergy. But we'll see what the Spin Doctor gets. Is there a turbine in the runner's hand? I can't see it. I would be surprised if there's a turbine. Yeah. How's it going, by the way? Also, thanks for supporting the channel, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard because generally your breaker suite here will be like 3 copies of 3 breakers. Right now, it's also accumulation. Are we over MU? No, we're at 5 MU. So I think it'd be very difficult to get a turbine down as well. I'm on my way to work. Anguish Brennan will be here for a bit. This is the last round of the tournament, and you can watch the whole VOD eventually up on Twitch and maybe up on YouTube later. Did you see the throwback team names? They're so good. We can review them after. I think the one that made me laugh is I'm missing Arkham for this, which I thought was very funny. Loving the silly op Excel export spreadsheets. Oh, that makes sense. That's why it is that. That's very good. I'd be surprised if it was in there. I just thought I'd seen one. Yeah. I need to pay more attention to the hands. But yeah, you can tell a bit. I think the stream only goes up to 720. So like we're going to have to do a bit of playing the earlier rounds of Gordian Blade, if you know what I mean. But we can definitely clean something from hand. 20 minutes left. Thanks, Galehar. So card in the remote server, that die is broken. It's a broken die. You need to get a new die there. Looks like that is R&D. I think the card in hand that's a full art is maybe Amakua. Or there you go. It's a Boomerang Catchen. Love that one. Boomerang there. It looks like we're going to try and cash out our cupulation. Now you can only break one of the subroutines. Or actually, we're going for a diversion, dropping the corporation down from 9 to 4. You have to pay 2 credits. You lose 2 credits to the Afshar because you can't break all of its subroutines when it's on HQ. So that is relatively expensive still for the runner. You can't lose your Chesva credits. That's very important. You can only spend Chesva credits. So that actually is not a great financially boon of diversion of funds. It's more to put the corporation down, which is what's good. Who's playing Kira? I have no idea. All we know on the right is NWE. On the left is an op player. On the right is Sable. That's the most we have, which is really awkward. We're going to try and keep our pronouns to corp and runner. But that's all we got. Afshar. Hitting on R&D, we have no way to break that. Again, you can't lose the Chesva credits, so that'll be 3 credits out for the corp, 2 credits for the runner, making change right there. So central servers now, we just want to get a decoder. I'm imagining we might not be on Unity. As much as people are getting more and more frustrated with the numbers on Shibboleth, at least a low-strength code 8, you're not mattering too much. That's AMS' playmat. Oh, this might be AMS then. I don't know. This playmat is like giving me Spirit Island vibes. I don't know what it is. AMS, I think, someone from NW. Yeah, very cool. AMS is very, very cool. AMS is head of like online dev stuff for Null Signal. AMS is cool. I got to meet Ams a couple times, I think, at last Worlds. But Ams does a lot of the web stuff. Hey, friendo. Hey, Jai. How's it going? This is the final round. Welcome. My fears were just men. We're just hollow, man. All right, so there's another server. Let's move my face. Maybe we shouldn't have my face. It's a casual stream. I'm allowed to have my face. So we're down here. So that board state, look how quickly the runner is playing there. Now, I'm not sure if this is single or double-sided Swiss. So this could just be it. New remote server. That thing has been in the remote server for a while now. It hasn't been scored out. On 3 credits, you could score it out, but there's a lot of 5-3s in this deck. So there's a chance of Vladisibir's Grid. There's a chance that it's a Hollowman. Upgrades too. Just keeping him a virus safe is really important for the Hollowman turn. Ams is corping indeed. Thank you, Gelhart. It is single-sided. Okay, very good. Installed Andre in the remote server. Hey, guy. How's it going? Mutual favor. Looks like we're going to be trashing a cup of coffee, keeping that cupulation around. Now, that coffee can give you a lot of value throughout the game, but we're determining that the shibboleth is more important than that second dose of caffeine. So now we're running R&D for 2 credits. HQ is still 3 credits. You can cheat most of that with the Cheswa. But we'll see here if we just want to use the cupulation. Remote server looks like we're charging 2 for the border control from pocket. That should get a Kurapira charge. Let's see if our runner remembers it. I believe we got them. Again, those are really old tokens. This player's been playing for a while. Those are FFG tokens. Again, if you have those power counters, let me know. Not those ones, but the other ones. You know which ones I'm talking about. Innermost ice on 3 credits. You're not scared about too much. Can't res Archer, can't res Stavka. 4 is a pretty ugly breakpoint. Now, a Sandstone could be res here, but you can still brute force your way through it. And there is just an Azef on the remote server. 4 points for the runner. Going to bounce with Hermes, remembering our triggers is fantastic here. And now a single cupulation to central servers could end the game. We're looking at generally SDS drone deployments. If this is a Hollowman deck, you largely do play the big 5-3s. So we're running HQ. 1 off the coffee, 2 from the pocket. And there is 6 cards here after the bounce. We know one of them was installed in the new server. So we're going to see 3 cards here after paying another credit. First card. The powers that be. 3 to trash is a bit much. We can leave that there if the corporation's not threatening to score. There's another Azef. No, that's a slash and burn. Another ice in hand. We get 1 more axis here. So we're assuming powers that be might have been in server 3. And now there's an ice back in hand. So we got to touch 1 more card. It is Felix. Oh, that's my guess. Yeah. Runner board state feels very net boomer as far as from Jada as you could be. This is how I play. 3rd axis, a hearts and minds. That's a 2 trash cost here. Our Cheswa is exhausted, but now this board state is looking really rough, unfortunately, for the corporation. The remote server is barely a remote server. Now, you can tax out 2 runs from the runner, but they can break that or particularly bypass that border control for free if it really wants to. Now, R&D, you see in the hand, there's an SDS drone deployment in the rightmost. Might have been a mandatory draw there, but now we have to keep the runner out of HQ. Luckily, Afshar is one of the most, it's a frustrating ice to deal with on HQ. Costing 3 credits for something that's res for 3 credits is pretty rough. But now in the remote server and a discard here, there's a chance that AMS might have just pitched the SDS and is using the Spin Doctor to bring it back to safety of R&D. Now up on points, the runner should feel pretty comfortable. Twinning's coming down, catch and alt art. As much as I think there is a full twinning art available at this event later on, we're going for the diversion. So the duck here is going to be wall to wall. Wall to wall is so cool because it's really powered up if you only have 1 rezzed acid. So it's up to the players to figure out whether they want to crack the Spin Doctor before start a turn trigger so that it actually gets all of its modes. Now, you only really want 2 of the modes, the draw and the credit. The credit seems really important here. The draw could be important. The advancement kind of doesn't matter, but there's some hearts and minds there. Andre's goaded to whose hands are they? Clearly. Literally catching, yeah, I know. In this modern turbine with 3 credits is the best you can ask from ice. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so it's a team tournament. So you actually have to play like different IDs and different factions. So like, I understand there's turbine frustration in the modern meta, but this is actually one of the metas where you might see the tournaments where you might see the least amount of turbine. I guess there's still a Shaper and an Anarch player, but who knows? Are there busted upgrades with advancements and rollback formats? I think there's all the upgrades that you can advance are still in standard, right? I think it's just the really bad recursion one that I love. And then it's like Vladisibirsk and Biovault. I don't think there's any. Temujin, yeah, Temujin's a runner throwback card. We've gone through 2 so far. It's Temi J for sure. This is really exciting for players who haven't been playing for like the whole FFG history, which like, of course you haven't. That's very few people have. Seeing what the powerful cards are is really, really quite fun. It looks like Ames keeping the Spin Doctor around, so wall to wall is just going to be a pad campaign with a bit of a premium cost here, but definitely an uphill fight to either make a remote server work or to score up, but just 3 credits. I think we might be the second, if not third diversion in. So there's a chance that those credits will stay in the corporation's coffers until you want to red something. But we're charging the twinning every turn. We're drawing every turn. It looks like this list is actually on multiple cupulations, which is not a card you've exactly seen hit that sort of status in criminal lists. So maybe the European players are doing that. Oh, we see another diversion in hand. So there's a big chance here that Felix is going to wait. Seeing 2 cards, 3 cards here on R&D. After the break, we're going to see 3. This could easily be it. There's a lot of 3-pointers in the deck. Off camera, it's staying off camera. It's staying. 3rd card. Stays. I think there's 3 points in archives. And this is sometimes like a tricky and easy thing to miss, is if you think the corporation is managing these cards, you need to run archives or the spin doctor to force the shuffle, because right now you're trying to win on a deck that might be 6 points short. Let alone now, if the corporation wants to draw an agenda, you see AMs here can crack to break that lock. Now, of course, breaking lock here is not that important because there's no server to put the agenda in, but I do think there's 3 to 6 points out of R&D because they're in archives. So the whiff there in R&D is not too surprising. Crimrig has a space for cups. Cetron, how's it going? You say that, but we actually lost a second Chesva to it. So like, it's in the middle. I think you could definitely like work for it, but it looks like we're working for it. Ice there on R&D, credit. The diversion might actually connect. Dropping AMs down to 1 credit is not going to be a fantastic spot. Now that wall-to-wall is giving a credit turn, which is quite nice. Mark, it's on HQ too, making that diversion a lot easier, but we might just go for an axis here. I don't know what that counter is. There's an additional click counter, I think. 20 gets charged up. The middle card, I don't think they're going to keep agendas in hand. That's the powers that be we saw. So we're assuming in the hand there's a powers that be and a hearts and minds. You do see the hearts and minds there a bit in the corporation's hand. The Temujin Aaron Moran meta was not such a happy memory. Tanuki, Aaron Moran is like such a fun card to play. If you haven't seen Aaron Moran with Class Act, which they were never legal together, it's so cool because you always want to do Aaron Moran on the end of the corpse turn or the beginning of the corpse turn to get that filtered draw. There's that diversion that we were expecting. So that's still going to be 3 credits, 4 credits to play and break, and then you just get 5 back. So it's not phenomenal for the runner. And these sort of runner econ rigs are like going to really rely on the Chesvas for the late game once all the Temujins are kind of exhausted. Siphon Keyhole was a fun meta though. Hey, Siphon Keyhole is when I got into the game, really started playing competitively. You'd think I didn't like Max 2-count Siphon Keyhole? Oh, it was so great. Vamp Mopus. All the jaded old players coming out here. Good Friday morning for y'all. I've been playing Netrunner, mind you, for a really long time. Since about before Honor and Profit. So I've been around for a minute. Spin Doctor's finally going. I think it was a pop there. So now we're bravadoing in. Whether it's on R&D, it probably should be R&D here. With 1 credit, there you go. Getting the free money off the bravado. You do want to find that tall server as much as you can. Now you can fully break here. The after is just 2 credits. And we're going to see here a couple cards after the shuffle. These are brand new cards. There's the SDS off the top. Might have just been shuffled in. And Felix coming up there too, I believe, plus 7 points. Is that an HQ timing chart, Terrence? That is an OB Excel, extract Excel spreadsheet. So, oh, it's an Estelle Moon. Our corporation just not drawing a card that we could all describe as being absolutely busted. But that is the reason why you play OP, let alone Acid OP in this format, or Eternal as it is. Because if you're not familiar with Estelle Moon, every time you build a new remote server, Estelle Moon gets a power counter. I believe Estelle's 2 to res. And then at instant speed, not even a click, at instant speed, you can trash Estelle to draw cards and gain twice as many credits to the amount of power counters on her. So like, just the fact that you technically fireball at any paid ability window, which means the runner always has to kind of deal with it. It's like absolute nonsense. 3 cards of the Menuensis and Aaron would be big gas. Yeah, that'd be actually a really cool connection. That's like sometimes the frustrating thing with Sebastio is there's so many cool cards when you play these sort of formats with Sebastio. It's like, do you play Account Siphon? Do you play Aaron Moran? Do you play Obelisk? Like there's so many cards, Citadel Sanctuary, that seem like they would make Sebastio like relevant quickly. Unfortunately, you can only pick one of them. I did an Estelle Moon draft a couple months back. Oh, very good. I hope you had a great time. It's hard to believe you didn't. Also went through the Curse of the Eater meta. Jimmy, I think it was fun. I remember when Andromeda was a premier runner. I really like that sort of stuff. So also talking to me about Aaron Moran Seb on Tuesday, but he was locked in on Shaper for the tourney. Okay, that makes sense. The bypass crim was Siphon, same old inside job for remotes. 1 attorney splash and DDoS once. Yeah, DDoS is technically a legal target for this deck. I'm not sure if there's that much that cares about DDoS in the modern meta. It used to be very, very powerful. For those who are not familiar with that card, it forced the corporation not to be able to res half their ice on the table. But well played to both players. From my understanding, that is the last round. If you want to watch more Throwback, it's all up on twitch.tv/nullsignalnetrunner. And please take a second. Can I not close this? Am I trapped? To go hit that follow button at the bottom. I'm already, well, I follow. Yeah, I'm followed. Technically, I'm followed on my personal channel. But they'll be back tomorrow with the actual EMEA Swiss rounds. So that should be starting tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, Bergamo is probably 6 hours ahead. So it'll be starting a bit earlier for us folks on the Western Hemisphere. But that should be going on tomorrow. Currently, there's no audio in the stream. There's music between the rounds, but I'm not sure if they're expecting to have commentary or table audio or something like that. Obviously, running a stream is really difficult, but I'm excited for the weekend for sure. There's a lot of really great Netrunner going on. And then Sunday, of course, will be the top cut. There's a lot of folks going out, mind you. Team names are always like a really fun thing when it comes to these sorts of tournaments. I can't pause the stream. The stream, we're locked in, y'all. This train has no brakes. Okay. Some of the titles of the names. So team tournaments generally produce goofy names. They often read them out through the whole hall because they get a good laugh. Saucy Hope, Milano City Grid, Fabricati DM Punk, I guess, Intercontinental Breakfast, the Capybaras, Ente 2, No Aliens Allowed, Team Skane, missing Arkham for this, Bergamoshing, love it, Ente 1, Pretty Mary, De Silva Fan Club, Avocado Toast, Net 3, then he started doing math. Unsay and Grendel, the Reservoir Dogs, dude, we're just normal men, we're just hollow men, no escape. If my grandmother had Hana Wheels Plintra, she would have been a bike. This is a quote from an Italian cook on a talk morning show. This quote lives kind of rent-free in my head. It's really funny. Prison Architect playing IG. I'm imagining there was IG on the stream earlier. This might be the same team. Too Hot. Pizza Rustica. Maximo 102 Run. Too Hot for Name. Titan Transnational. Let's go. That's a lot of players. These are 3-player teams. So there's already, this is like the tournament on the day before. And that means there's already like nearly 80 players playing just the side event. So I have no doubt EMEA Continental is going to be huge. It's going to be absolute hype. So again, it continues on Saturday. There'll be more going on. I really can't pause the stream. So I'm just going to go refresh and hope that gets us out there. Love to see them taking on someone like Ian again. Benefits from being from behind, but less bad. Oh, like making, let's not watch that. Making an Ian type ID. I think it's tricky. I don't think Ian's particularly interesting, but I think you can make a resource that has Ian type text. It's just like, I feel like recently we had somebody that was Ian-like, where you want to play from behind. I got part of the IG game. It was cool to see. What was the card they were playing in IG? It's like a very noteworthy thing is that null signal games and new cards are not balanced around Eternal. So while it's really easy to pick up like a good stuff criminal deck and be like, I'm going to put a Count Siphon in it, and you'll have a really good deck for sure. Is that there's a lot of card combos that are just never existed back then that allow you to either play the deck at an incredible level or push you in a weird direction. So for instance, Kakarembo is a card that nobody plays. But Kakarembo wasn't legal when IG was legal, if I'm not mistaken, and Kakarembo in Industrial Genomics is just so messed up that it's probably worth considering playing triple Kakarembo in IG and just having a good time. You probably want 2 of them, because I don't think you want one in your opening hand. But these are the sort of things where it's like a deck builder can find this 2-card combination. IG, the card they were playing is IG. It's so true. So true. For those who don't know what we mean when we say Industrial Genomics or IG, it is Industrial Genomics. So this was a healthy corporation identity. So the trash cost of each card in archives is increased by 1 for each face down cards in archives. So if you've been playing and you see Restoring Humanity and you think like, oh, Jinteki cares about archives, there's actually a precedent for that for a really long time, as much as it didn't crop up and across most of the card pool. IG was like the really, really big one, if I'm not mistaken. But this was obviously really kind of toxic because they would put, you know, a lot of face down cards in archives. They would put traps in archives. Back then we had cards like Breach, Dome, and Shock that did damage when you touched them from archives. So it didn't matter. They didn't remove themselves from archives like something like a Nightmare archive. It just said every time you run archives, you could take up to 6 damage. And so it was really kind of anti-fun technology, if you ask me. Now, some people like IG, and at the end of the day, having your assets cost 15, 16 to trash, so be it, as much as some tech could beat it. But I really did not like this identity at all. Bladderward, Keeling, Kakarembo, Front Company, Cohort. Oh yeah, those are really cool. Cohort is very cool. Like that's the sort of thing where, you know, old card works with new card works with old identity. Trash one card from HQ if you do gain 2 credits and draw a card. That's what you want to be doing anyways in IG. That's very, very, very powerful. Kakarenbo Hybrid releases good jank. Yeah, you can do it, can't you? You can score it out. That's kind of fun. Oh, and it puts the cards face down. Actually, that's pretty cool. I played Kakarenbo. It's so much fun. Hey, Diogen. I played Kakarenbo in draft like last weekend, and it did really well for me, especially because I hate drafted it from the IG player. I just don't functionally like I think I probably complained about Kakarenbo on stream a lot already, but just so we get it on the same page, the reason I don't like Kakarenbo is that it is a memory game. And currently Null Signal Games' modern design has moved away from that. Where it's like, here, there's 20 cards in it, find which one's missing, is like exactly the opposite of what NSG's design has been like in the last 3 years. So it just doesn't mesh with me. I don't think it's healthy for the game, and luckily nobody plays it, let alone like that. But the like see which card is missing mini game is not fun. Just either pay 10 to trash Genetics Pavilion or run archives through Crick, Kakugo, and access 3 breach domes. Yeah, and like you can now put a Fuji in there and stings and stuff. It's fun in combo with Sudden Commandment, but that's it. Kakarenbo is? Yeah. Very, very cool. So that was this event. I don't think the results are being updated, so I don't know who's doing well. Shout out to everyone. Hopefully you're having a great time. I said this earlier too. If you're hyped about organized play, while it technically is not too late to get to Bergamo, if you can make it over really quickly, tickets are on sale for Worlds this year. That's the sale date of the tickets, not when Worlds is, obviously. Worlds is on October, I think it's like 19th, 20th, some 18th and 20th, I think it's correct. And there's a Discord server up, which I just joined yesterday. The World's Discord server from last year was like absolutely fantastic. It was one of the biggest successes of Worlds, was to have a great community space for people to hang out, ask questions, meet people, organize to go out for dinner and drinks, and like ask for help when they need it. It was really, really great. So you don't have to be going to Worlds to go to the Discord server, I don't think. I think that's the intention. But if you want to go in there and see the hype, and like maybe that encourages you to consider getting to Worlds and buying a ticket, maybe you should try that. I don't know. I'm just bought my flight and my hotels and stuff, so I'll be there for sure. I'm going to be doing commentary, so I'm not going to be playing, but I'll be a volunteer. But I'm excited to see y'all if you can go down. Why are you taunting me with Kakarenbo? There's the IG player. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Also, hi, just tuned in. Good morning, man. I got your email yesterday. The email came in from NSGOP, and it was like, congratulations, we have selected you. We are happy to have you as a role in the upcoming Worlds as a blank space period. And then the rest of the email actually was like made sense. And then 2 hours later, you got a message from OP be like, I was meant to say comms, sorry. Which is just very, very funny. But I'm glad to get that email for sure. The best for me is with a Trap Saraswati deck. Put all cards face down while maybe putting something deadly on the board. In person, it gives us a lot of laughs. Do you show your opponent all of archives before you do the Kakarenbo flip? Hey, have you seen this guy? Do you recognize that cat? We're a 2-cat household right now. My sister and her husband went off on a little trip. And so little Humphrey, the marmalade friend, he's here. He and Nana have a relationship that I would describe as being tense, but friendly enough. And so he came over last night. They slept in separate spaces. They did not get into any conflicts, as much as there was some hissing the night before. But they've known each other on and off for like 5 years. They usually get to meet over holidays and stuff like that. So it's going okay. It's a bit tense in here, but it's going okay. Honestly, both separately lovely cats. Together, one day they'll be lovely cats for sure. Am I being void comp tested by the cats? I thought you were asking if I recognize the cat on the Kakarenbo for a second. Oh, I think this is a fox. I think this is meant to be like, I'm assuming this is a kitsune. I think the like warping behind it is not meant to be like the many, many tails. I think it's like coming from the tree, but I'm assuming the Kakarenbo is a kitsune. But no, there was a floor cat. Alec, good morning. Kakarenbo. I don't know what Kakarenbo means. I used to. What is a Kakarenbo? It is an anime show. It is a film. But can I get a definition? How do I not minus anime? It means hide and seek, right? I think Kakarembo means hide and seek. Japanese to English. The other way. Yeah, Kakarembo means hide and seek, which makes sense, you know, thematically what the card does. Humphrey the Marmalade Friend is my favorite children's cartoon. He's a really sweet cat. Okay, let's do some deck building. I wanted to put something together for a bit. Generally on the Tuesday and Thursday streams, mostly on the Tuesday streams, we have enough, I had time in the stream to like put together a deck idea to try it out and kind of test it out. I think there's a card I want to focus on. And I think this is like a skill that every once in a while we should really hunker down and do this sort of thing, which is like maybe a playtesting skill of sorts. Where it's like, it's very easy to take a card from any upcoming set, a last set, whatever, and try it out by just kind of inserting it into an existing deck and seeing that it's kind of crap. Because it doesn't work if you just kind of half-ass it. You really need to full-ass some cards. And so today, we're going to do our best effort to full-ass Meeting of Minds. Now, I don't like this card. I've talked about this before on tier lists and stuff like this. It's just not my favorite design of a card. It is cost 4 credits, which is incredibly expensive. Now we'll make some of that money back. And then you choose connection or virtual, 2 subtypes. That criminal actually has a lot of connections, not a lot of virtuals, but they're interesting 2 subtypes because there's not a lot of cards that tie these 2 subtypes together. There's in fact a lot of anti-synergy between these 2, but we'll get to that for sure. You may search your stack for one resource with the chosen subtype, reveal it, and add it to your grip. Then, reveal any number of cards with the chosen subtype in your grip and gain 1 credit for each card revealed this way. So the idea is that this card should functionally only cost 3 credits. Ideally, it can cost less. It's hard to imagine a board state where this actually gains you credit, but it's technically possible, but it's very hard. I think we're going to try and play this as a 3 of in a deck and try and make it cost as little as we can. Now, why do I not like this card? I don't like cards that just say search your deck for a specific card and add it to your hand. And we used to have cards like that back in the day, right? Like I played this card not uncommonly back from, mind you, this was the spin cycle. So one of the second cycles of all time. It was called Hostage. I think the theme of this card is really fun. Look at those crossed fingers. It's a double, so it costs 2 clicks. It says search your stack for a connection, reveal it, add it to your grip. You may install that connection, paying its install cost, shuffle your stack. So you spend 1 credit, 1 click premium to go get the connection, which is a totally fair price, and then you installed it. So obviously you can do the same ability. You can make Meeting of the Minds a double, but it will cost a lot more. But I didn't have a problem with Hostage. And I think it's actually mostly the virtual subtype that really grinds me, because virtual right now in the game is pretty good. It's a pretty strong subtype, and they're not nearly untutorable, but they're almost directly unstrictly tutorable. There's ways to get a bit more consistency at them. And classically, virtual cards are really strong. So twinning is a really strong win condition. A lot of criminal decks are running 2 copies of this just to be able to find them as consistently as possible, because twinning is very powerful across, you know, all games. We also have, like, you know, the connections like Paladin Puemo, Mystic Miami, all those sort of, you know, the team that you can build, and they're virtuals. But admittedly, these aren't worth paying 3 credits to get them down on turn 1, because of course they're not. That's way too expensive. Also very frustrating that Paladin Puemo is the one virtual that cares about connections, and by cares I mean really doesn't care about connections. So that's a bit of a bummer too. It was more so back in the day with Hostage, and this is being said right now in chat, is that when you played Hostage back in the day, there were certain decks that had connections that were actually engine pieces. And I'd argue there's 1 or 2 of them still in the standard format, as much as Hostage is much more playable than Meeting of Minds. And I would think the one connection like back in the day was Tech Trader. Tech Trader in a Geist deck where half your cards had trash cans on them, you wanted to get one of these on the table as soon as possible, and then you want to get the second and third one. Hopefully you're drawn into them a bit more naturally. But these were the sort of engine decks where step 1, get a Tech Trader, step 2, pop off, was your game plan. So people used it to find Caddy too. I think people used it to find Caddy, but those people were probably goofing up. Because a lot of times using that many clicks and credits to install Caddy Jones means she only pays off favorably to another econ card if she has like 18 credits on her. I think people did it. I think I used to do it. I think the game was a bit slower back then, so it sort of made sense. But I just love Caddy Jones because the math on Caddy Jones feels so much better than the math on Caddy Jones actually is. Like, imagine you hostage Caddy Jones, right? So you've already spent 3 credits, and then you 3 clicks and 3 credits, and then you put another. So you spend 3 clicks. Like, how much money do you have to get off Caddy Jones for it to be actually better than clicking for credits? And the answer is like 9 to 12 after you've hostaged it. It's like just so bad. But yeah, they were wrong to do so. I think, yes, I think they were wrong to do so. Some other ones, Proco was sometimes something that came down early enough off of a hostage. I'm pretty sure Josh Wilson had this series where he was playing all these Leela games and he had 2 hostages. One was maybe for Caddy, but the other one was actually for, I think, Beth Kilrain Chang when she came out, because Beth Kilrain Chang was absolutely just cracked and she was worth playing. And so as long as you had 2 good ways to hostage, so if you naturally drew one, it was Beth, and I don't think Aaron was legal back then, but Aaron was another fantastic hostage. Aaron's rotated and banned at the same time. So 3 cards from the bank or some Monopoly ass card. So we'll see. But anyways, Meeting the Minds, I don't know why it tickles me and in such a strange way that I just don't like this. Where it's like, grab a card from your deck, add it to your hand. It's very expensive. And I think another part of my pessimism with this card is like, clearly this card is balanced in a way to be uncompetitive, right? Like 3 cards is just way too much. At some point in the game, hostage was like a legal play, and like it was okay. It was middling to okay. There were some decks where you could argue it was fine, but clearly this card is not balanced to be competitive. And I think if it was balanced to be competitive, I would complain about it a bit louder. So like, nobody's happy, you know what I mean? It's really, really strange. The only good thing about Beth rotating is Shaper suddenly have a universal extra card slot available. Yeah, I think 2 Beths might have been right in some decks. You know, like cards that search for cards and then out them in grip? What about one that searches for a card and installs it for 3 less? Yeah, but it's only to top 4. But I think that card's at least more exciting. So we're going to play Meeting of Minds, and we're going to build a deck that plays as many connections and as many virtuals to make this card as cheap as possible to see how good that deck is. And unfortunately, I think, because specifically this card has a lot of influence, that we have to play Criminal, which is fine, because there is a Criminal that cares about connections. It's as. You don't have to play Hardware as, which I think is going to be really exciting to play non-Hardware as. But also we're going to find out how the connections, how the virtuals work, and if there's any deck that actually supports this. Connection, like the sort of connection synergy deck, has largely been cursed for a while, right? So the sort of deck or the sort of card that's kind of been like, you know, the groundwork for a connection synergy deck is Powerless Cafe. And Powerless Cafe has been out since Ashes. It's one of the first, it was technically the second release of Null Signal Games cards. And Powerless Cafe is 4 influence, so already very hard to splash. It is technically a reimagining of an existing card. We probably forgot to click this one when we did our what's a reprint counter, but you can host a program or hardware on this, and then you can bring it off at instant speed, reducing its cost by the amount of unique connection resources you have installed. This card just hasn't made sense, because in Shaper, there were so few unique connections. Building a deck with unique connections is really, really difficult because they all do something kind of, you know, they're not all synergistic, and Shaper didn't have a lot of them. And in the last set, we actually got a lot of connections. It was the most connection heavy set of all time. Anarch getting most of them. I think Anarch got like 6 connections, which is huge. Generally, Criminal was the connection faction, but I don't think this card makes more sense, even if you can go ahead and grab it with your Meeting of the Minds, because inherently that deck has to care about hardwares and programs, and you generally don't so much. So who knows? How's Paula's Cafe's not in Seb? How's it going, David? It's because this text doesn't matter. This text doesn't matter, and it's for influence. I think Seb one day will be very interesting and very cool. I think Seb is short on some like basic key ideas to make it a competitive deck. And influence is really tight in that deck because you don't have a lot of reasons to run. Card draw is just inherently pretty rough. So a lot of people are playing like 3 sets of Dr. Nuka. Well, there goes, you know, 6 influence. And then you probably play a DJ Fenris. There goes a 7th influence. And then it's kind of tricky. Evie's waving. Morning, Evie. How's it going? I think connections are mostly a crim thing. I guess now with Sebastian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a bit of a change there. Anyways, I don't know why I'm bringing this up exactly, but let's look at the connections and look at the virtuals to see what we can do to make Meeting of Minds as consistent as you can. Huge shout out to one of the ways to make Meeting of the Minds actually super profitable, and we saw a couple like gag decks like this, as much as I haven't seen them in paper, is that if you draw your whole deck, Meeting of Minds is really good. If you manage to hold in hand your entire deck, Meeting of the Minds actually becomes like a 10 credit econ card easily if you build your deck in a certain way. That is worth keeping in mind for like weirdos who are building strange combo decks, but it's kind of cool. Paolo's works with Julie? Yeah, actually, Neil, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Thanks, she's smiling now. Oh, good morning, Evie. Corporate Town isn't real. No, it's not. I just put 3x Paola in a deck full of connections and loads of hardware and programs, played 4 games, never used it effectively. It's down to 1 of now. Yeah, I hear you. I think like there's a bunch of cards like this in Netrunner, classically, that were kind of playable. So for those who don't know, one of the most powerful cards that this is trying to be is called, what is it called? What is it actually called? Workshop? Personal Workshop. And this card was kind of interesting, but also kind of busted. You could install stuff on it And then every turn you removed 1 credit of value off of that card. And once it had its value paid fully off, which you could expedite at a credit per whatever, like at exactly market rate, you would install those cards at instant speed. Which means that back in the day, we had a really, really powerful overclock that gave you 9 credits, but a core damage. But the idea is that if you overclock out, you can just be like, oh, I install, 3 programs for free. Like you can do some pretty wild stuff. Yeah. The big one was a workshop with StimHack. So StimHack was what overclock used to be, which is a much more, I'm going to do the old art because it's way more fun. This is the core damage card, back from the day. It says place 9 credits on this event, make a run, use those credits for the run. So it's a 9 credit econ card that makes a run. Like that's absurd. And then at the end of the run, you suffer a core damage, which like core damage doesn't matter. This is a thing that players who've been playing for a long time understand, that in most decks, barring lat, where you care about hand size, core damage doesn't matter. I will gladly take 2 core damage if it gives me 18 free credits. So when somebody is like considering to put core damage ice in their deck to be a deterrent, and I don't have to break that ice, I don't care. Core damage doesn't matter so much. So like being scared of core damage is a skill that eventually I think most players will pick up. And then when you play that deck back in the day, you played noise. And then the idea is you could install like 6 viruses in a single click and run archives. It was fun, I guess. 1 influence left, slot StimHack. Yeah, exactly. Anarch has the most connections and the most virtual, which makes me look at Meeting the Minds with some dubiousness. It is a card that feels like it's in the wrong faction for the card pool that supports it. Now, Criminal does have a lot of connections. Obviously, you want to play it in Seb because of that reason. But in theory, yeah, it's really tricky. And then some of the best virtuals like Paladin and Puemo don't work with connections. So like you get this really weird anti-synergy. Like none of the cards feel like they sit well with one another. Which like is not a criticism. It's just something we have to keep in mind when we build the deck, and build the deck we will. Somebody shouted this out also in the chat. So we actually had a lot more of these sort of, synergistic connection cards back in the day. So while this one was a bit risky, this was a card that I was known to play pretty consistently. It was off-campus apartment. It cost nothing. It could host any amount of connections. And then whenever a connection was installed in this, you drew a card. Unfortunately, it ended up with board states where if they trashed this, you lost the game because everything was at that one apartment. But these are the sort of cards that you really needed to, to have a plan, to like make these 17 connections you put in your deck make sense. What was the other one where the person's jumping out the window into Caddy Jones's hopper? Is it something plan? We'll find it. It's in this set. There was another card that also had like big synergy. Calling in Favors. Yeah, thank you. This is Calling in Favors. So this is Caddy Jones. We saw her earlier, and it's, I believe that's Silhouette jumping out of a window. Very, what's it called? Matrix. Gain 1 credit for each installed connection resource. So we actually used to have a lot more cards, and not that this was a common or popular card. Thankfully, Ms. Jones is always on time. Yeah, there was a lot more cards that were like very clearly pushing you in a certain direction. That was in my Draft Geist deck. How many connections did you have? I didn't get to see you play it. Man, cards like this are kind of fun, like the build-arounds to some extent, as much as they are straightforward. And then once you get there, it's kind of, it just happens to you. When you're like, click for 6, you're like, shit. Okay, so let's try and build a runner deck that cares about Meeting the Minds, and we're going to try and push Meeting the Minds as far as we can. That is going to be our goal, just to see what we can do with it, because I think that's a big important way to test cards, is like to give it the biggest chance it can. And we'll see which faction can do the connections well. So what we're first going to do is we're going to sort by standard. We're going to go and open up every single faction, and then I'm just going to type subtype connection. Let's start virtual because I think there are fewer. And then obviously there's no virtual events, there's no virtual hardware, there's no virtual programs, virtual resources. There's a lot. So we're going to go through them, and we're just going to add a single copy to the deck if we think at all they are interesting, so we can keep them in mind when deck building. I just woke up from my FBI agent enforced nap. What name is Jai? We saw the last game of the team tournament. We're now trying to make a Meeting of the Minds deck. Let's just go ahead and put this in here, so it's obvious what we're doing. Let's look through the list. Oh, I'm behind in chat, I think. Okay, Amelia Earhart, genuinely interesting. I think this is a sort of card where like you can build around it enough. I think paying 3 credits to grab an Amelia Earhart is kind of sus, but the connections actually do support you seeing enough cards with things like Pretty Mary and Iru, and in theory Beatriz. As much as those cards are a bit more hard to play, I think Amelia Earhart, being able to consistently tutor Amelia Earhart is actually a reason to play Meeting of the Minds. Maybe. Jai's asking, hey Jeff, will you be streaming tomorrow? Funny enough for me is, will Jeff be streaming today? But for you, you need to go to bed soon. Yeah, tonight for you, I guess, exactly. I think Jeff will be. He offered to trade slots, I think, but we'll find out. Jeff technically is working today. He works real hard on Fridays, I've heard. Assimilator. This is 5 influence. So already if we're doing this, it's going to limit the whole deck. This is turn one of your face-up installed cards face down. Sorry, one of your face-down installed cards face up. This might seem like super cryptic text, and it is. It's a build around, but there's almost no easy way to install cards face down unless you're spending another 5 influence. I'll be streaming tonight finally. Let's go. Backstitching. I don't think it's a card that we want to be able to get for 3 credits, but it's an important, like it's an interesting card we can think of. I don't think I'd build a deck around it. Rude? Nah, I know it. Okay, refute me. Biomodel Network, version 1 of 2. Prevent all but 1 net damage. That's not an ability you want to get. Caldera. This is something that's worth keeping in mind. In theory, we can have a toolbox deck that against the Jinteki matchup, we can go ahead and pay 3 credits to pay another 3 credits to begin to pay our third 3 credits. You see the problem here, but this is kind of what it is. I got my code editor up and open in front of me, I swear. Yeah, okay. Cookbook, very important card potentially. Being able to tutor a 1 of Cookbook in Criminal is actually kind of interesting. Like this is where it's no longer becomes a meeting of the minds deck, but I could see a world where we spend a lot of virtuals and then we have Cookbook consistently, and then we actually can play things like the Sleepy Snake, because Cookbook is really good with Sleepy Snake. So we'll keep that there. We'll probably cut it because obviously this is a virus synergy deck, but it's kind of neat that you can pull the Cookbook. Don't read Crypt. Cyber Trooper Talutes. Probably shouldn't read that text. Definitely not going to read Dag. Oh, Dag is 2 influence. What a bummer. Dummy Box. This is actually very interesting too, because there's a big chance we're going to end up playing a Tag Me Seb deck. Because you can get DJ Fenris. DJ Fenris can get a Gmod. A Gmed can get Sebastio Souza Pessoa. And then we can play Tag Me. But if we're playing Tag Me, we have a bunch of resources. And if you want to play actual Tag Me, Dummy Box is one of your best tools. Because Dummy Box says you can float a tag, and we'll admit that floating tags right now in Standard is not as bad as it was 2 months ago, but still pretty bad. This is actually a card that you're able to get consistently, as much as, again, we're talking about paying money from it, is actually interesting. This is one of the few virtual resources that has natural synergy with connection, so we should keep this in mind. Fencer Fueno. Gabali and Kangamato are weird build-arounds. I think they're way too low power level or like impact per card to pay 3 credits to grab them, but they're cool cards. Hey, Zyroth, happy Friday. I wait for the Cyber Trooper meta. Once Dawn arrives and we ban Turbine, it'll be a bird time probably. It's not so much that it needs to, like, Turbine not to exist, which obviously does make it really silly, is that you need, like, whenever you install, like, you need some sort of breaker suite that bounces and reinstalls stuff, which, like, yeah, you're right, you're kind of there if you work really hard with World Tree and play like Gauss and Euler, but what's the point when we have a card that does that better? And that's not a complaint about Cyber Trooper Talud. I guess it technically is, but when a card is clearly power crept over, that card saw no original play, then it's not power creep. It's just this card was a problem, if you know what I mean. Ice Carver, I don't think we're going to spend 3 influence on this. Kasi String is kind of cool. It's 0 influence. You could always consider it, but it's going to be hard to make that stick. Logic Bomb, very, very good. One of the strongest virtuals in the game, but it costs 5 influence, so I don't think we're going to consider it. Mystic Miami is worth considering. I don't think we want to pay 4 credits on turn 1 for a Mystic Miami, but it is a good virtual universally. Network Exchange is way too expensive for what it does. It's also in the wrong faction. I don't know why this wasn't in Anarch to make Arena feel a bit better, but it is in Shaper. I've seen this hit the table once. No One Home, uniquely okay. You could consider this is not a bad tech card. I just don't think we pay 3 credits for it, but whatever. And then Paladin Puemo, very, very good. But unfortunately, Paladin Puemo doesn't care about connections at all. So just very frustrating that the 2 subtypes we care about kind of get to be a problem. Penumbral Toolkit is a stealth card. Hey, Shapers, why not Rosetta 2.0? I know this is very, very silly, but the fact that we can get a Rosetta 2.0 consistently with our deck, don't look into that too much, seems kind of fascinating. What can Rosetta 2.0 do? Well, it can remove an installed program from the game. That's not a huge cost. Search your stack for a non-virus program, shuffle your stack, and install it, lowering its cost by the thing that you've trashed. So this used to be harder to play back in the day because the non-virus clause. Back in the day, our copy of the Shaper card Coalescence was a virus, which means that if you play Shaper and you get the Rosetta down and you get a Coalescence, you have a click for 4 credit button a couple times. Now, immediately that's not good because the Coalescence removes itself from the game, and that's not a place you want to deal with Coalescence. Like, you actually want to keep Coalescence in the bin, but it's a click for 4 credit button that draws a card out of your deck and installs it. It's not great, but it's like something that's worth looking at. Coalescence, I believe, is 2 influence. So if there's a deck, like all I'm saying is that Rosetta has got more support than it's ever gotten. I think this is actually one of the best Rosetta targets that I don't know if you spend 6 influence to play Coalescence and Criminal, but we're getting there. What else can you do with Rosetta? You can empty a revolver that is empty into something else. I don't know if there's any other synergy. You can empty a Chesva that's empty, but that's pretty rough because Chesva's still good. But there must be other stuff for this. This card's really weird. It never did anything particularly strong. In fact, it never showed up in any deck really, but keep this in mind. It's a cool card. Slipstream. You need a big reason to play Slipstream. Twinning is very good. Is Bug-Out Bag Loop still active for Meeting the Minds? What do you mean, Diogen? Bug-Out Bag and Meeting the Minds work really well together if you draw your whole deck, but I don't think there's actually interactions. Rosetta use Saucies, I guess? Oh, that's cool, Jai. Yeah, you can move Saucies around. You can get Trojans. The thing is, like, where did the Trojans come in? They'd be installed wherever you need to install them. So I guess, but yeah, Saucies is like okay. Propeller, yeah, Propeller's okay, but that's the problem. Is like at the end of the day, if you're just using it to reset propellers and admittedly also reset what's it called, Coalescence, you can just use Simulchip, right? There is a deck that's using the Bug-Out Bag trick, sort of. The one deck that was posted, Diogen, did not use the rules appropriately. Like it was just not a correct deck. But if you draw your whole deck and your deck is playing Meeting the Minds, yes, you can click for like 10 credits, and that's kind of cool. But then you still have to win the game. I do think the deck that was posted with that combo in mind was actually not a legal deck. Like the interaction didn't work legally. It technically is a legal deck, but I do believe Tuno posted one that was the one that wants you to trash your deck to access cards. Twinning is really good. Twinning is one of the best virtuals we can pull with consistency. Trickster Taka is 3 influence, but it's worth considering, and then Xanadu is not it. So we're already at 16 influence. Most of these are not playable. Let's look at connections, because connections will be a lot better. Bug-Out Bag, Meeting the Minds, click for 10 Ashen. Ideally, you Meeting the Minds 3 times. The Tuna one was pre-RBWR. Oh, very cool. Okay, hold on, Daijin. Let me see if I can copy paste that. Give me 1 second. Core damage Seb. Cool. Oops, I didn't copy paste it. Your second one got eaten unless you did not paste it. I don't see it, is all I'm trying to say. Okay, this is Tuno's. This is not pre-RWR because there's an Ashen in it. This one's fun. This one doesn't actually work. Play Bug-Out Bag, play 3 Meeting Minds, play Ashen. Yes, this is the sort of idea. The deck is 73 cards. And it has 2 Bug-Out Bags, and you need to generate 70 credits. So I'd say no, but like that's the idea, is that if you draw a lot of cards, and we're going to do that with Nuka. Like that's the way that we can make Meeting Minds better, is we do, like click 1, draw with Nuka, or you play it after a class act. Like there's actually really cool things that you can do here. Like imagine you start with a class act, you start on 9 cards in hand, then you draw with a Nuka, you're at 12 cards in hand, then you can play Meeting the Minds relatively well. Now, you might be discarding your whole hand after that. Like, that's really bad because you're still, like, going card neutral. But there's ways to make Meeting the Minds more playable that don't require that much setup. It's mostly, like, Class Act and Nuka to start with big cards in hand. So we're going to do something like this, but obviously not like this. The other list was this one, which is the exact same list. Wait, what? It's just with Seb? Wait, did I just not paste it? No, I pasted the wrong one. Hold on, I pasted the wrong one. I've not seen this. Bug-Out Bag. Yeah, you just can't do this. You just don't have money to do this. Like, you can't draw your whole deck. You need 40 credits. Like, you just can't do it. I don't know. It does have one Nanook in there. I think Connections is just stronger because you play 3 Cossack without feeling bad. Yeah, I think Connections is easily stronger. And the Connections are a bit more synergistic. So let's look at the Connections really quickly. Bachlan. Bachlan's not bad if we play a tag deck. And I think we're going to end up playing a tag deck. So we'll put him in as a reminder. Pretty Mary Da Silva. If we want to also play Amelia Earhart, this is good. But for 1 influence, it's hard to go wrong with Pretty as long as we have multi-axis. So it's not too rough. Nias Informant. This is a build around. It is a very cheap connection. I think we might not build into Neas Informant. It's something that you want to build into assets and upgrades pretty heavily. We can keep one as like an earmark, but probably not going to. Aesops, it's a way to get rid of extra connections, but we're hoping our connections are good, so I don't think so. Aquaceres Crew is a lot of influence. I think you have to build around it a bit, but playing Aquaceres Crew is one of the best tag payoff cards, so it is what it is. Asmoon, I don't think we have any synergy with any of those two subtypes. Augustina, we need viruses. Beatrice is too much influence, but technically fine. The problem is if we're playing Criminal, we already exert enough pressure on HQ with things like Wake Implant that I don't think we're going to need extra multi-access like this. Corporate Defector is a cheap, neutral card. I'd hope that we have a higher standard than that. I have no doubt it's going to get cut. Cyber Troopers, Virtual, and Connection. Missed that. That's kind of cool. The Diana also probably doesn't have relevant text, and I don't want to take 3 mid damage. Debbie Downtown Moreira probably doesn't make it, which is the hard thing, is like so many connections are a bit more synergy driven, where it's like if you want Debbie to work, you also need to play all these run events, which stops you from playing, you know, the 17 connection deck we want to play. This is the best one. When I play MOM and Shaper loads of connections, I think Shaper has the fewest connections out of any faction, and Meeting of Minds is 3 influence. So I'd rather just play a card draw card, which that faction has so much card draw. Like Shaper has the least by a mile, and they're pretty bad. It's like Artist is not great, Psych Mike is not great, Proco one of okay, Nuka's fantastic, Cyber Troop is not good, Beatrice is not good, Pawn Shop's a builder aren't pretty. They have like by far the least. Criminal honestly has just about the same amount, which is surprising. I thought Criminal had more, but Anarch has the most. But like I just think this is not as good as a card draw card unless you're really building into it. I really want an MOM playmat. Yeah, the art is really good. I really do like the art. Fenris, really important, because we're probably going to end up playing a deck that becomes a very consistently, what's it called? Sebastio Souza Pessoa by DJ Fenrising. I think DJ Fenris is one of the really strongest Meaning of the Minds cards, because it's one of in every deck. And in theory, MOM is as comparable to like card draw, unless you're looking for one-ofs. Like that's the way to make MOM feel very, very nice, is that you're getting unique one-ofs from your deck. And there's no one-of that's at the power level of DJ Fenris in your deck. Shaper Connections are very easy to discard after lots of draws. Because they're not good, because you can't recur connections in Shaver. Nuka is really good. I think Nuka is good. I don't think you're Meeting the Minds with the Nuka, but the big thing with Nuka is that you can click one, have 8 cards in hand, and then you can play Meeting the Minds and actually make some amount of money. I think Nuka is probably fine. I worry we're not going to have click compression to install all these connections, so we probably actually also want to play Career Fair, which is really good because then we spend 1 click to get 2 cards out of our hand, which is going to be important on a Meeting of Minds turns. So we'll put some Nukas in there. Iru, probably need to if we're playing Tag Me, because it's one of the payoffs. Friend of a Friend, I honestly don't know if this card's worth it. I think we're playing Tag Me Criminal. We should look at Seb K's recent list. I don't think this is a good enough payoff. I might be wrong, but in faction we have like no free lunch, and that's probably comparable to spending influence on this, because this card's kind of pricey. It's a connection though, so maybe that'll not be bad. Hannah, should we playing this in Anarch? Yes, but then if we're playing Anarch, we definitely don't play Meeting of Minds, so that's a bummer. Yorogtiv Mercs, I don't think we care about that. Julie, probably fine. She gives you more clicks to dump cards from your hand after your Nuka. Okay, I could see it. Kyros McIntyre, I don't think we have any D-Res. Lagu, I don't think we can afford to do that. Louis Guilherme is probably a bit rich for our blood, as much as that ability is very expensive, but not a bad ability. Take that, PD. You're playing on our level now. Manuel Tumura, I think if you're playing Tag Me, you probably always play at least one Manuel because it's so powerful. But there's a chance if we're playing Twinning, like playing Tag Me Twinning is kind of what we're suggesting. Don't think about it too much. Miss Bones is an easy 2 of. I don't think we play Proco or Psych Mike. I don't think we play Scrubber with Miss Bones around. Smart Redistributor is probably definitely too slow. Archivist is not what we want for 4 influence. Artist is not very good. Class Act is really good. We can play 3 of Class Acts for sure. And then we have Banhar, which is not bad. Valentina, if we're playing Tag Me, we definitely play 1 of Valentina, and it actually might be a Meetings of Mind target. And then that's it. And you might notice that this obviously doesn't resemble a deck at all. For obvious reasons, it doesn't. We're at 30 influence, so we need to start cutting down to a deck that actually makes sense. I'm going to really quickly open Seb K's deck, which is like as DJ Fenris and then like Manuel. That should lower it down. DJ Fenris. Just Manuel will do it. Because I think the sort of like Tag Me engine is probably where we want to end up. To me, my X-Men. Berzelius also played it. Let's open both because one of them is like months older than the other. So I played this off stream before and I thought it was kind of clumsy. You definitely wanted like 21 resources. Like, look at this. Connection, not connection, 3 connections, connection. Like you think Meeting the Minds would be playable in this, and we're only on 2 of that. We're on a single hot pursuit, which is really strong. Privilege access is just so good. But we are playing connection-based ads, which is great. It's fun to play Hermes and Az for 1 credit. So we probably might end up wanting something like this. Thunder Gallery, mind you, is also kind of a neat card. It's really cool because it gives us the click compression to get cards out of our hand. And getting cards out of hand might be a problem when Meeting the Minds wants us to have a big hand. So I could see us playing something like this for sure. And then we're on No Free Lunch. We're on Rogue Trading as well to get tags. This deck was scary to play into. I think inherently this deck just doesn't have pressure. Like, I think if I played against this deck in Swiss rounds, I know we've lost to this on stream. We were playing Thunderbolt though. Is this deck just doesn't have pressure or any sort of consistency, right? Like, its only multi-axis is 1 Docklands Pass and a Manuel and an Iru, right? Like, you don't know that, but it can't actually do anything. Am I missing something? Could a deck with Meeting of Minds that is hunting for 2 of the most powerful connections be good? Probably not. Because I think the argument is, right? I think we would have maybe seen it by now, and we could test it. We could very easily test it. But like a lot of the good criminal decks, like the ones that came in second in Worlds last year, are running 2 copies of the Twinning. Can you replace 1 copy of the Twinning with a Meeting of the Minds and then play a Career Fair and just say you're going to get your first Twinning down, but it'll cost you 3 extra credits? And the answer is usually no. That's way too expensive, and you don't actually need the Twinning on turn 1. So it's usually not worth it. And I actually don't know what the 2 most powerful connections are, but having a card that says pay 3 credits to draw a card is just not as good when a faction has pay 4 credits to draw 4 cards, right? Like, the consistency on finding a certain card is generally not worth that price. And that is like the sort of balance about Meeting the Minds. It's like, this has to be too expensive. Otherwise we'd be playing a game that's closer to Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, I don't mean to disparage Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just we're very different games. Where in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a lot of cards that say, play this, search your deck for a card, add it to your hand, and then you get these consistent combo chains. I just don't think you want those. How many connections actually justifies Meeting the Minds? I don't know. We're going to find out. Meeting of Minds might be good to get Miss Bones early, though. I don't think so. And I think if that's the case, instead of the Meeting of Minds, you should just play the 2nd or 3rd Miss Bones. I think if you're playing against PD and then you want to pay 5 credits to get your Miss Bones down on turn 1, like, you're cooked. You're much better off playing Diesel, Blueberry Diesel, literally any card draw option. Like, I would honestly play Concerto sooner than that. Like, I'd rather just Concerto the remote server and hope it gives me a Miss Bones of value. So 3 credits is just so much, especially on turn 1. Like, it's so much. It's so much money. Even if this is 2 credits, that's way too much money. If Crim decks were naturally to play DJ without Meeting of Minds before, then the card might be good. Yeah, like, criminals don't play DJ because the best DJ targets are criminal cards. And like, that's the biggest bummer too, is like finding your one of DJs still probably not worth 6 credits in the early game, but it's the sort of cards that like that a deck like this really needs. It's just like, you can't undercost 3 credits. 3 credits is 3 credits. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. You can play daily casts. Out here optimizing for a deck less efficient than Blueberry Diesel. Yeah, Blueberry Diesel looks good compared to Meeting of Minds. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to find a deck that needs a 1-of that is worth paying that price for. And yet I would argue that if there is a card that grabbing it in your early hand for 3 credits has that much of an impact on that game, the card you're grabbing is probably a balance concern. Right? Like, that's the way this card is balanced. It's like, if paying 3 credits for the thing is worth it, then the card is probably that you're getting is a bigger issue than maybe we should be talking about that card. So ideally, this card is cheaper in a connection-based deck. Let's see what the connection-based deck looks like. A criminal deck can tutor Banhar, Twinning, and Eero seems good to me. I think a criminal deck can tutor Banner is interesting. I think the Steve Cambridge decks that could play Meeting the Minds or grab Banner, because that deck is on 2 banners and really wants it, that is kind of interesting. That is true. But I honestly don't think you can pay 3 credits. Maybe you can play 3 credits to get a Banhar down on turn 1. I don't think you get Eero. I think you play Sneak Door Beta before you play Eero. Eero is very, very expensive. And you don't want to grab Eero early because you want to grab Eero in the mid game because of this text. Like, don't play Eero like that. Twinning is not worth it. You have Waken Plant, you have Docklands, you have so many other things you need. But Banhar is like very uniquely a card that is worth maybe considering grabbing. I think that's a good shout out. The best Crim cards are non-ID cards that have Crim ID abilities on them. DJ, Class Act, Hermes, Debbie. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. That's really funny. Okay, I don't like how this is starting. We're gonna have to do a lot of work to make this make sense. So we're gonna try and play a DJ Seb deck. I don't think we can afford to play a good stuff deck with like Meeting the Minds, because let's try and build a good stuff deck. Good stuff connections Crim, and let's see how much we can make it work for us. What are our targets for DJ Fenris? Our targets for DJ Fenris are Lou, which is fine. We have Let's play a Proco. F it. Let's play a Proco. Should be here. Eternal lets you play double Leela with Hermes. I don't think it's the best thing to be doing, but yeah, you can. And it's probably kind of fun. I think that's what Pat played in Boston NPC during the throwback event. Okay, so let's not play Tag Me. Let's play a good stuff deck. So we'll cut Bachlan. We'll cut Aeneas. I think we can consider Amelia. We obviously don't need Cookbook. We don't need Defector. Just try and make this as good as possible. We don't need Dummy Box. We don't need Eero. We don't need Friend. Hannah's fine. Julie, maybe. Cassie's gone. Manuel's gone. Mystic, we can maybe consider. I think we have too few connections. Twinning is fine. Taka is okay. Valentina is not necessary. So I wish we could sort by connections, but how many connections do we actually have? Because I think the answer is not enough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be 5, which is already a worse card. Rodan was Proco Crim, so it must be good. He's just been playing for so long. He wants to pull out his fancy old Proco alt art. Man, last stream we played against Rotom. I know it was a 15-minute match, and I didn't even play it perfectly, which is such a bummer, but that was really, really fun. I need to do more, like, competitive grinding. It's just a lot of fun. Okay, we're already at 23 influence, so Taka's going. I'm assuming Paladin Poema is going to go, because Mystic is generally a bit of an easier play. We're also now on a more... Let's get a little of Amelia. So Twinning, 3 Class Act, Proco. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 connections. That actually might be okay. The issue is that we're influenced into the corner. I think Pretty's probably unnecessary, but that only saves us 1 influence. We're an Amelia deck. No, Amelia just left. I think there's a big chance the upcoming Alphabet Series deck will be an Amelia deck. So we probably cut a Nuka and cut a Mary and have a bit of influence to work with. Are there any connections we're not considering we should be? Debbie looking better now? Yeah, actually right. Debbie's looking better now. That's a good shout. Yeah. Debbie's looking much better. Any of the reg cards we can play. Jordan, I don't know if I've said hi. Classic, Proco, Mystic, Miss Bones, Julie, Hannah, Wheels. And like with Az, we want to play connections, so that's totally fine. So let's play 3 Career Fair. We're going to play more resources for sure. It's like I already feel bad about 3 Meeting of the Minds, but we'll see what the test draws look like because I think they're going to be funny. So we probably cut a Hannah, I think. I don't think Hannah's that good. And we can cut a Mary, we can cut a Nuka, so we have a bit of flex influence. So let's build the rest of the deck. We want Career Fair, because we do, and then we'll build, hopefully, something from this. We have Twinning, so we'll play 2 Chesva, we'll play... Let's get our hardware in there, because that's an easy start. Let's not open everything there. Boomerang. Az loves Boomerang. I don't think we need to be fully Boomerang pilled. Our hardware is going to collide with our connections, but it is what it is. What else do we want? Single Docklands is fine. Hermes as a console is great. We don't have to build around it too heavily. Moo, Paragon, Penny Shaver, Poison Vial. I actually like Poison Vial in the modern meta more than I think I do. Prepaid, Prognostic, Rubicon. We need to play enough run events. A single prepaid is like kind of okay. I worry that Nuka and Proco together are going to be anti-synergistic. I think it's actually very likely that Nuka and Proco are a bit... Like 3 Nuka and a Proco, it seems like a bit much. Because we want to hit this button instead of that button. So we'll get to that. That'll be a problem for sure. Waken Plant, yep. I think that's it. NSG needs to print a new connection called 2 Guys. It counts as 2 connections, right? It just says it's just 2 guys. It counts as 2 connections. That's all it does. Okay. What do we want? Biobands is pretty good with Chesva, honestly, and it gives us click compression and draw. That seems worth playing over maybe a Nuka. So we could do that. And then we still have a slot. We'll keep that in mind. Bravado is absurd. I think I like Diversion enough. We'll play 2 to kind of hedge it. Pretty good against like the reg stuff. It's not that good against that much else of the field, but I think it's still pretty good. Tread Lightly, Spot the Prey, Rip Geo, Jig, Pinhole. I honestly think 3 Pinhole might be not wrong for certain metas. We're kind of getting there. We haven't played our breakers yet. We might need to carve some influence out for some breakers because I don't like playing Shibboleth that much. Legwork, Leave No Trace, Jailbreak, Inside Job. I like Inside Job. Forge, Falsified, Exploit. Okay, we're at 43 cards, so that's okay. We'll add like 2 programs and just not break fractors, barriers. Amakua, Kurapira. So what do we want to play here? Like probably Carmen and just hope that's good enough. And then, are we playing Shibboleth? honestly, do we need DJ Fenris? I actually don't think we have good DJ Fenris targets anymore. And then we can play Echelon. Are there any Shaper G mods? Card search. Subtype G mod Z standard. No. Wow. So it's Quetzal, which is like not the worst. Hey Kat, good morning. Reyna, which is not great. Lou, which is fine. And Seb, which is doesn't make sense. So I don't think we do. I do think we'll go Alvin. How's it going? After this, like actually build the Tag Me deck. But I think we can get rid of this, and then instead of play Shibboleth, we can play Unity. Can you tell Patrick to have a safe flight? Patrick, have a safe flight. Hopefully you enjoyed your time abroad. Glad you can make it out. And hopefully you have a nice, safe trip back. The face one, we accidentally killed the one card we thought we were trying to draw. I know. And now, like, we're going to be like, what are we meeting the mind for? Like, I'll spend a click to get Julie. It's like, oh, it's going to feel terrible. It's going to feel really bad, honestly. We have problems. Okay, so is Debbie that good? We have 2 Pinhole, 2 Inside Job, 2 Biobands. We're not even running Dirty Laundry or Carpe Diem. I honestly don't think Debbie's that good in the deck. Oh my god. We built a really bad Meeting of the Minds deck. This is terrible. Like, it's not worth playing. This is the worst card in our deck. We tried, and then we're like, at some point we like reined it back, and then we were like, oh, we reined way too far. So let's see what this looks like. This is our opening hand. We would keep this because it's fine. We do Sure Gamble. We'd do Miss Bones. We'd run the remote server. They would res a Gatekeeper. We'd be okay with it. We have 1 click left. We've already played a connection. We'd probably just draw a card. Great. Next turn, we could hit a central server if we want. Otherwise, we'd probably just do Class Act for 3, click for 3 credits, draw this. Notice how Meeting of the Minds will be our worst draw at any point in time. The current connections aren't strong enough to make a focus of your deck. I think Changeling. We've realized that very, very quickly. So we'd bottom, I think, the Class Act. Julie's useless. Oh my, this is terrible. Wait a second. How do I fix this? This is not good. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 connections with 3 Meetings of the Minds. We have to just add more connections. There's no way around it. We have to make the deck worse at the cost of the connections. I'm sorry. We have to. Legally. Oh, they're very bad though. Oh, they're very not good. Okay. How do we fix this? Let's sort by faction, I guess. Okay, if there's anything criminal we can play. Louis, we don't want to play. I know a card you can cut to make the deck better. I have a guess. You could try Aeneas and Conduit. Yeah, we could. We could. Like, I want to play Earthrise and Daily Cast. That's the issue. It's like, I think we need more connections to say the word credit on them. Are there no connections that say the word credit on them? That's That's not true. No, something's wrong. Because of course there are. How do you search the word credit? Why does that not work? So, like, Artist is not worth it. I bet they all say spend a credit. Yeah, the Artist says credit. Try again. They all say credits on them. Like, most of them do. Okay, let's clear the search terms. Okay, that's every card you can play. Okay, sometimes it never need to just be like that. All right, so what can we play cheaply? Valentina is not worth it. Smartware Distributor is like getting better with Julie, I'll be honest. Kiros? I wish the Artist was real. It only takes 3 turns of Julie triggers to get credit positive. That's the spirit. Oh, this is so bad. How do you... There's like this, you know, the archetypal journey of like, we had great ambitions. There was a story arc, and then we hit this part where we haven't even hit JNet tables, but this is the great conflict where you realize that your aspirational goals are conflicting with the fact that you know better slightly. Bless you. This is not good. This is not good. I think Mystic Miami doesn't make the cut. I think we need to spend more influence on connections that actually do something. So let's make as much connection influence as we can. We're playing Shibboleth, okay? We're playing Shibboleth. So let's spend all our influence on connections. Buy events, get out of there. You tried. 3 Nuka. Probably not Proco, considering everything else. So any connection, honestly. Just backtracking as again, Galehar, how'd the rest of the tournament go? We're trying to make Meeting of Minds, like, we're trying to lean into Meeting of Minds, which is down this path madness comes, or something like that. Because it's just like, they don't do anything. They just don't do anything. Wonder why they costed so high? Because if this card was lower costed, it would be like really boring. It would be like, oh, I'm going to grab my twinning on turn 2 for 1 credit. It'd be like, that's not good. I wish the artist was real. Oh, I read that before, but I think it's on the cusp of being okay. I think the Aeneas idea the most so far. It's like the most cards per credit, but like the Aeneas plan is anti-synergistic with our plan. Unless our plan is like Aeneas Hannah, which like Aeneas Hannah is, there's something there for sure. 19 resources, like we're getting there, that's for sure. Right now, Career Fair actually doesn't have good targets because I think our most expensive connection is Proco, which is like probably shouldn't be in there. Oh, Class Act 2 is not bad. So if we cut the twinning, we can't tutor for it. So how do we tutor Conduit? First judging a big event. I'm playing tomorrow. Oh, super cool. Crew plus Leech. I think then we have to play the Tag Me version, which is probably where we have to go. I think we have to probably play the Tag Me version. Oh, Whistleblower is like a card you can play. I think it could be a D-Res deck with the best connections in Crim. The D-Res deck has Kyros McIntyre. It has exclusively Kyros. Is there something else I'm missing? But I think D-Res is an angle. We have Kyros McIntyre. We have Rubicon Switch. We have Aeneas Informant, potentially. Are there any other connections that care about D-Res? I don't think so. Oh, Bachlan Botchkin. That at least is like an angle. We can say that we have an angle there. Bachlan is unique, so don't get too carried away. Kyros is a one of. Kyros doesn't even see play in all the sort of like D-Res decks. Oh, man. Okay, hold on, Andre. You got this. How are there so many cards that don't work together? Like, they're generally fine cards. What about Amelia? We have no credits. They have no credits. We cut Amelia. Because I don't think we're going to be able to consistently see that many cards. Like, I think if you want to play Amelia, you have to be playing, like, Legwork or Pretty Mary plus combo, right? Like, I don't think you can just Amelia into any deck. I think this is rough. I think we just build a tag deck. Sorry that we're oscillating so wildly, but I think we actually have to build a tag deck. Because I don't think there's a game plan that works otherwise. So we'll cut Kyros, we'll cut Proco, we'll cut the 3 copies of Smartware Distributor, Sweet Summer Child. And I think we cut Twinning. And then we'll play DJ Fenris and all that. So hold on. DJ Fenrir. And we'll play tags. Okay. So, oh, Sabatag. Yeah, right. Iru, friend of a friend, Manuel. Bachlan probably doesn't cut. Valentina's a one of. Okay. So we're cooking. We're definitely cooking. Bachlan, I don't think has enough tag text, but I do want to try him, but I don't think he has enough tag text. So Nuka, Iru, friend of a friend, Hannah. Julie seems a bit rough because the only triggers we have for Julie are Iru and Hannah. That doesn't seem good. Oh, if we play Rogue Trading, Julie gets a bit better, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think you want at least one Praxis in the deck. I do think we do want that as well. So, like, if we look at these versions, so Inception is on Praxis. It's on 2 Julie, Rogue Trading, which I think you need to play Tag Me, and the Thunder Art Gallery seems smart. So, let's do that. Oops, that's fine. The problem I had with that deck is that it just doesn't have enough pressure. Like, its win condition is very, very, very soft. Oh, Julie sounds on friend of a friend. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. So Nuka probably gets cut. I don't think these folks are playing Nuka. Playing 1 Nuka, playing Earthrise. This one is on 2 Nuka, which I like. Iru, Manuel. This seems elegant. I like this package, I think, a bit more. This seems good. Wait a second. Is this sick? It's funny that we all thought Julie was a Seb card on release and now it only sees play in Shaper. I haven't even seen it see play in Shaper consistently. I didn't like it in Seb. I honestly don't think it's that good. Like, I think it's very comparable to everything else you can do in Shaper. I think it feels better than it is. That's my guess. Okay, obviously Bachlan's not it. Nuka. I actually really like the core of this. 2 Nuka, Iru, 3 Foaf. Yeah, Hannah, not seeing play. I like Hannah a lot. I'll keep that around. And then we'll do 2 Julie, 1 Manuel, 2 NFL. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think we're playing Flip Switch. 3 Rogue Trading, 3 Class Act, 2 Class Act. Okay. 1 Tag, 2 Valentina. Okay. That's 23 resources? That can't be right. 18? Why do I have so many more resources? Why do I have so many more resources? What am I playing more than they? Oh, they're not playing Miss Bones. Huge. You gotta play Miss Bones. No, we gotta clear tags. And do you play Smarter Distributor because of the connection? We had 3 of them in the deck and we cut it. I don't think we do it with tags. If we play reg stuff when we play Julie, I think Smartware makes slightly more sense. We'll cut the Waken Plant. We'll cut the Dawkins Pass. So we're on 2 Boomerang, 1 Flip Switch, 3 Hermes. So they are on Flip Switch. Breaker Suite. I don't think Amaku is going to see play. Abigail, 2 Amaku, Carmen Kurapira. That's kind of cool. I don't think Abigail is that much better than Shibboleth, so I'm just going to do 2 Amaku is cool, because then we want to run a lot. Yeah, Valfor tags. We'll play Valfor tags. So we have to cut this down. We're at 54 cards. I think this is 46. 3 Bravado. I like that. Career Fairs, we don't need anymore. 2 Diversions. Hot Pursuit is pretty cool. Oh god, there's no way this deck has 3 meeting minds. Okay, I love it. 2 Mutual Favors. I'm hoping not to need that. I think we'll have 1. 3 Sure Gamble. Networking. Oh yeah, networking's fine. 3 Sure Gamble, and then there was 1 more that they had I liked. The Praxis. Privilege. Yeah, Praxis is really good. I honestly think 2 Praxis might be correct. Want to replace all programs with and mutual from Matryoshka? I think there's not that many problems you run into in the format, but I don't think you need to. I think Amakua just kind of goes pretty far. I'm not sure if you need to. I don't think there's a huge upside to it. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's still 6 slots for 6 cards. And then you're really weak to program destruction. Not that like, Criminal's still a bit weak to it. Privilege. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Hey, Nana. So we need to cut 8 cards somehow. 18 events, that can't be right. 3 Bravado, 2 Hot Pursuit. We'll cut the IJs. Mutual Favor, Networking, 2 Pinhole. I think this person's not playing Pinhole, which that can't be correct. DJ, Nuka, Iru, Hannah, Julie, Manuel, Miss Bones. I'm not cutting Miss Bones. There's no way I'm leaving home cutting Miss Bones. Rogue Trading, NFL, Class Act, Thunder Gallery, Valentina, Ferreira, Carvalho. I don't think you need 2 Valentinas. You're already committed to going slow. Why not run the dolls? I don't think we're committed to go slow. I think committing to go slow is a mistake. We want to not commit to go slow. We'll cut Hannah. Like, at no point in time do you want to commit to going slow. You shouldn't. You want to try not to. Okay. Imagine this. So we can't do it. Like, we can't meeting the minds. Cut a Rogue Trading too slow to play. I think you're right. I think Hot Pursuit's better than Rogue Trading. I think Rogue Trading is a bit slow. The idea is that with Julie, it's a bit faster. I'm not actually sure if that works out. But the idea is that you play Rogue Trading, you clear the tag with Thunder Art Gallery, or you clear with Networking, you install a card more accurately. Like, that's meant to be the engine, so I'm going to try it. I think in my testing from Seb, Rogue Trading has been way too slow. But ideally in Criminal, like, you can make it work out a bit better for you. Flip Switch is only on your turn. I don't like Flip Switch. I think you want to clear a tag on their turn also because of Thunder Art Gallery. Like, that's a really cool interaction. So I think NFL is just a bit easier to play. That's my guess. Let's try this again. Okay, so this is the sort of hand that I think we're expecting. If we play Meeting of the Minds right now, we play 3 credits, right? It costs 2 credits because we have a connection in our hand and we get another connection. So what can we get for 2 credits that actually matters? It's like, we don't want Seb on this turn. Unless we do, but I don't think we do. Thunder Art Gallery is a location, not a connection. This is a good one up to grab. Valentina, you don't want to grab this soon, but it's not the worst. I think you want to one-up is this. So like, ideally here, we actually have more card draw. I think we just need more card draw. But regardless, here we probably like do Miss Bones, charge their mode server if they play it. We can drop 1, we can drop 1. Okay, now next turn, well, we played our Miss Bones. We would do like Rogue Trading, install Valentina, clear the tag. It's not a very good turn. We need more card draw than this. We don't have enough card draw. I don't think Friend of a Friend is that good. Am I wrong? Like, we don't want it in our opening hand. I feel like Nuka is what we want always in our opening hand. Like, imagine we do this. We do Nuka, draw 3. Hot Pursuit, HQ. That's not great either. Hermes Hot Pursuit, if anything, but they'll ice HQ. That's not good. Okay, I don't have great ideas. I think we're just going to try to see where it pushes us. But this looks very, very difficult. There's a whole lot of resources. Are we trying Meeting the Minds? JM, yeah. We're 100% trying Meeting the Minds. Which, like, this deck at least has one good target. So that's how low the floor is. Or how high the floor is. But otherwise, I think that's okay. 48 cards? Are we serious? Maybe. There's no way 3x Meeting the Minds is ever right. I'm ideally... We're trying to prove that it is or is not. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, we have 15 connections. I don't think that's a reason to do it. But, like, imagine this hand. This is actually a great hand. We do Sure Gamble. We do Fenris for Seb. That's not that great. Because then we rogue trading. Do we play a dummy box? Because this is the thing you can grab a Meeting the Minds. It'll be very expensive, though, because we have, like, 1 virtual in the whole deck. But this means we can float a tag. That seems hard. Are the Chesvas the worst card in the deck? Is the second Amakua the worst card in the deck? A card that chooses a specific connection for net 0 is still bad unless it's exactly DJ Fenris at the perfect time? Yes, I agree. But we actually can make money off of these abstractly. Playing a 48 while trying to make Meeting the Minds work is like just so funny to me that there's no way we can afford to do that. We have to cut 3 cards. That's going to be a tricky... That's going to be hard. Like, maybe we just cut 3 rogue trading, but then, like, we just don't have enough ways to tag ourselves. Like, we have no rogue tradings. We have very few ways to actually tag ourselves. The whole deck falls apart. Like, I think you need this. Like, that's one of the Seb problems. Like, is if we're not playing crew, we don't have that many ways to give ourselves tags. Like, Seb only has so many ways to give tags, and luckily they're mostly enter cards, but we need a card like this in the deck. I'm imagining. That's my guess. It's like cutting 3 of these is probably the best thing we can do to the deck. We could maybe do this. That's probably better. It's not less cards. I think cutting the Chesvas is probably right. Like, our breakers are not good. How do we win? Oh man, we're in the exact same spot where, like, how do we win is hard. Like, we have no multi-access. This deck has no multi-access besides a Manuel. This deck has no multi-access besides a Manuel. And a Docklands. Like, I think fundamentally it's hard to win. It is just hard to win. We're not going to be running that much. Okay, hold on. He's almost there. Sorry that this takes a while. But this is how deck building goes. Especially when you're trying to build something like this. Okay, I think we can play 46 and see what it feels like. Okay, this hand. So this is the idea, right? Like, we Sure Gamble, we Nuka for free. We Nuka. We have 1, 2 connections in hand. So now we can do Sure Gamble, play Meeting the Minds. We'll have 6 cards in hand. We install 1 of the cards from hand. So we can get DJ Fenris. As soon as we get DJ Fenris down, we have Rogue Trading to install Friend of a Friend. Or Rogue Trading to install Manuel Run. Like, it's not the worst. It's not great. Then we draw 3. That actually was a really good start. In terms of, like, what the deck is expected to do. I'd mulligan this hand for sure. This is our hand. We'd have to keep it for legal reasons, because the rules. But then we would draw, gamble. Thunder Gallery is, like, almost there. Because we could. And then next turn we can install Rogue Trading, install it to use this to clear the tag. We'd probably draw a card first. If we drew that first, will we pay 3 for Seb? Maybe. I'm convinced we need more card draw. I think we have to do this. But then we have no win condition. Ugh, how do we get a win condition in this deck? Mira, Manuel, Iru, and Docklands is pretty sufficient to win if you keep it. But it's like 8+ turns to get there, plus have breakers. I think you're right. Docklands plus Manuel is kind of good. Wake. Yeah, Wake is probably the lowest amount of effort for a win condition. I think you're right in terms of cards per win condition. Masterwork instead of Nuka? We have 4 hardware, so Masterwork's not going to work. How long? How's it going, by the way? But I just don't see how we see enough cards to win the game. Like, we're going to be playing worse install runner than Seb. Let's try it. Let's try it. Good stuff, Crim. MOM tag based as. I do think Awaken Plan is probably reasonable. JNet. Okay. Okay. Oh, I haven't opened JNet yet. I haven't logged into JNet yet. So right now, streaming at this hour is like, in theory, really good for folks who are in Europe. However, so many of the folks who are in Europe right now are playing at EMEA, which is like, whoops. It's okay. New corp, new runner deck. MO. Oh, excuse me. I was about to say the cool thing about playing as is you don't have to change the top letter, but you definitely do. Runner. I'm in Europe and it's a great time. I'm not at EMEA because of prior booked holiday. I'll try and grab a game. Yeah, welcome to the game. You made it in there. All right. Our game plan is just to set up meta or not. I'm not on meta, but it's up to you. Sometimes I'd actually rather play against meta decks than non-meta decks, because sometimes non-meta decks are like, you stop making good calls against them. I'm watching. I think I'd rather play against something that is of competitive, like something that I would know what it is. Because I already have to do so much work figuring out what my deck is going to do that I'd rather be like, oh, it's PD, as much as we might get rushed out by PD. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So it's up to you. It's up to you. Good game. All right, it's PD. So our opening hand, we have the rotating. We have the one of tag. We have an early enough Eru. We have a Nuka. This hand's actually pretty good. Hey, best of luck, have fun. So we still have 2 pinholes. We still have Miss Bones. So there's ways for us to contest the early remote server. Ideally, we do like, depending on how much money she has, like, oh, why are the credit symbols messed up? We can like sure gamble charge our remote server. If she's on 6 and she trades it all for an MIC, I think we're okay with it. But ideally, we do like sure gamble, Nuka, draw 3. And then last click, we don't want to run last click because of Architect. We're missing some images here, but this hand's like pretty good for what we'd expect. Mind you, as saves a credit on an install. Something's really wrong with JNet here. So we get, I don't like that. All right, that's fantastic. That's a really slow start for us. We actually can use that really slow start. So we have 466 LLs or ED6 LLs. We're going to install Nuka for free. We're going to draw up with Nuka. I mean, that is a draw we can have. Holy crap, that's a draw we can have. So what do we want to show here? I think we might be slow enough for rogue trading. We have Boomerang in the remote server, but this hand's really good. This is the cheapest thing to put on the table. That's our good hand. So the question is, what do we do? DJ Fenris can get down Seb on this turn, and then we can rogue trade and get a tag to install the Eru. I don't want to show the Eru, but like she knows we're on Eru. And then with Hermes, Eru is actually a pressure. Okay. So we're assuming Mana Garment is something. We can just run it. On 11 credits, she can res one of the 6 costers, so Brawn or MIC. MIC would be pretty rough for us. So we could just let this go. The other option with Eru is that we can just like, well, not even with Eru, we can just run R&D with Hermes and hope that we do some damage. We'd bounce the ice. But if we Boomerang this, like, I don't think we can afford to break stuff or trash stuff unless we have access to Miss Bones. So I'm hoping that this is something else, like maybe Rashida, and then we have time to do all this sort of stuff. So if we install DJ Fenris, we'll take a tag. In theory, we want Thunder Art Gallery too. That's a bit greedy. So we do Thunder Art Gallery, DJ Fenris. I actually think we just do Thunder Art Gallery, because Thunder Art Gallery is Seb's text, right? Except it installs a Hermes. I think that's pretty cool. So if we Nuka first, we're up to 8 cards in hand. Thunder Art is 7/6. We can probably discard a card. So we'll Nuka first. Holy crap. Wait a second. This is fine. So I think we thought, what do we throw out? Actually, the hand's pretty good. We don't want to float a tag with the rogue trading, so we can do the rogue trading. We install DJ Fenris rogue trading. That's not good enough. So I think we do Thunder Gallery. We rogue trading. Oh no. We messed the turn up. We were not meant to draw. Clicking is hard. Oh, we were not meant to draw there. That's really unfortunate because we're meant to do Thunder Art Gallery, rogue trading, clear the tag. Okay, whatever. We'll set up. We'll install this for one. We'll install this to set up. We'll just do a setup turn. It's okay. So next turn, we can install DJ Fenris, use the rogue trading, install the friend of the friend, clear the friend of a friend tag. So I think we'll just install the Manuel manually here. So yeah, we might have messed that up a bit. Rogue trading too slow to even play a solitaire turn. No, we shouldn't have drawn. If we didn't draw, it would have been fine. Okay, it looks like she has upgrades in there. So we're assuming a Mana Garm into a Tranquility. But now with R&D, like we can just pressure server 1. Server 2 looking like a Spin Doctor. She's drawing that last click. So she has 6 cards in hand and she almost definitely has an agenda in hand. So let's go get some damage here. So what do we want to do? We want to install Fenris. That drops us to 0. We rogue trading. We run R&D. Still too slow. Rogue trading still too slow. So the other options we can rogue trading. Do we need DJ Fenris? Oh, rogue trading is too slow. That's so funny. So install Fenris for 2. We get Seb. We hit the rogue trading. We install the friend or friend. We clearly do friend or friend. We put down Eero. It's like so good though. Undoing it, whatever. Oh no, not like that. I'm not doing it like that. Undo clicks, excuse me. So we'll get Seb. We'll rogue trading. Pay a connection for 2 fewer. Friend of a friend. And then we clear the tag with friend of a friend. Like we just need more card draw here, which is unfortunate. Then we can install something with Thunder Gallery. Sorry about all these glyphs. I don't know what these glyphs mean either. We're figuring it out together. And so now we can choose a card in our grip to install for fewer. So probably not the Eero. I pre-installing the Boomerang is a bit cursed. So like this is not that good for us. We've already installed a connection, so this is actually just 1 credit. The Carmen for 4 is not amazing. It's gonna be tricky to do anything else. I think we install the Eero and assume we're gonna draw another connection. Okay, at least we have pressure. There's definitely now we're assuming about 3 agendas in our HQ. Oh, is that an Ikua? No, 4-2. Okay, we have no diversions in the deck. We're gonna have an open HQ here. So we want to get a tag, run HQ C2 cards. Card draw is an issue. We probably want 3 class acts. Thunder installs Fenris, but we want Fenris for Seb to install the manual. Like we might have wanted to do that in a different order. Bonjour. I see you're up to some science. Yeah, we're trying Meeting of the Minds, which like looks like a pretty bad draw at this point. But we did draw everything, like all our one-ofs. Okay, so 2 cards in archives. I think we want to contest the Spin Doctor. So I think we run archives to force the shuffle. Then we probably rogue trading. Oh, we can't float a tag. So we probably rogue trading after we've run our, oh man, how many runs can we make? We can make rogue trading, run HQ. I think that's how we do rogue trading, run HQ, C2. And then we clear the tag installing a Carmen. Like, this is clumsy. You need all the card draw in the world. So you don't know what that is. Could Eero then run HQ? Oh, you're right. Yeah, Eero could just see a card. Yeah. What do the symbols by the clicks and credits means? Augustus. It's just broken. These are meant to be credits to clicks. It just didn't load well. Gatekeeper. Okay. Yeah, I think Eero might have been better. We didn't need the 6 credits there. Yeah, Eero does see 2 cards because of the tag. You're right. We could have done that. The thing is, like, I'm not excited about running R&D while there's a Spin Doctor on the table. But here, if she doesn't put anything in the remote server, it could be the Tranquility. It is what it is. Draw. That's great. Unfortunately, rogue trading is 3 clicks a turn. Like, it's way too slow. So we could take a turn off here and just do rogue trading, install class act, clear the tag, install Boomerang. Like, that's kind of fun. F it. It's just, we need Earthrise Hotel. We just need more card draw. I don't love installing the Boomerang last click, but we'll be fine. Deck looks so unique. It's not actually not that unique. Seb K brought this to an event. I think Brazeli's brought it to an event too. This is our version of it, which is actually not that different on cards, but it's basically Seb as, which is a fun idea. But now Meetings of the Mind, like, what can we actually get? It's so expensive. What can we possibly get with the Meeting of the Minds? Does anyone have a good idea? Like, Like, what are our options? Hold on. So our options are another Nuka for a lot of money. That's not great. Julie's not that great for the 4 credits. Miss Bones, honestly, for 4 credits is not amazing. Valentina's an econ card, so paying a lot of money for an econ card seems kind of messed up. It was a Tranquility. That's good. Out of my backyard mixing concrete, but I thought I'd stop in and see what your sick rips. Eric, you building the pool again? Round 2? Thanks for dropping in. Glad you have a good Friday there. So defensive upgrade, last click draw because I'm good at Netrunner. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so pool and deck. This deck looks like it would be killer for low influence VR-cation. Yeah, Criminal wants that card drop for a bit, huh? Okay, we actually probably Praxis for a Nuka. We definitely want to contest this sooner than later because of Managarm, so I think we can. We would love a Miss Bones. So let's talk about it. If we meeting for the mines, we play basically 3-2. The problem is we don't have that good with many ways to tag ourselves. I'm going to start here. I just want to Miss Bones so bad. We can Praxis, take a tag, which installs nothing from hand. So like there's a chance, thinking, that our line is like meeting the mines for Miss Bones. Then we Praxis to install the Miss Bones, install the Nuka. Then we run server 1. Yeah, mom then Praxis, exactly. What happened to the credit icon and the like? I don't know, VT. We just turned this on and we've having some issues. We'll probably do a hard refresh. Let's try playing this card. This feels bad. Connection. So I think it's Miss Bones here. This is so expensive. It's so expensive. So get the Miss Bones down. We only have 1 connection. Fantastic. We'll Praxis. Reach server. I don't like this because we're now contesting this with only 2 clicks and we still have to clear the tag. Like, we can install the no free lunch at least and then install Miss something on their turn, on her turn, excuse me. This doesn't see the cards. Some folks panic here. You don't have to spin doctor. This is not optional. If it said you can choose to do this, but we can't choose, so we'll never flip the cards in archives. It's getting too far off deck concept to start adding virtual resources. Things like Taka can get you tags and twinning, obviously. Maybe Amelia. Taka's weird because you get the tag at the worst place possible, which is end of turn. Amelia we considered, but like we don't have enough multi-access to support Amelia. So it is what it is. But we had twinning in here. But then we cut, I think we cut the Chesbos, I'm not sure. Seb, Miss Bones, Nuka. Okay. So now we just run server 1. If it's an MIC, we might have a problem, but we have to force some reses here. I don't want to talk about it. So unfortunately, we're just floating a tag. I think we're just floating a tag here. And we don't even have something to install with Thunder or Gallery. How bad is floating a tag? It seems bad. It seems quite bad. Okay, so we can boomerang through the 2 click loss subroutines. We lose the boomerang because we don't make a successful run. With Managarm, we can afford to pay for it. I think we have to trash a Tranquility. I think if we're tagged, we're tagged. Like, how much can she trash? I don't think we've seen Greasing the Palm so far. Taka operating as a perfect timing charge for amanuensis. Finger guns. It's better with the criminal stuff, right? Like, NFL is really good with amanuensis. And Thunder Gallery. All right, whatever. Seb's text is still technically active. So if she trashes the MIC, we're pretty happy about it. So it's a Managarm, that's fine. We at least can deal with the whole board. This is Rashida, yeah. So at least we'll dump the server. We'll use 4 E6 ODOs. We have a lot of E6 OOs. Yep. Okay, we have a tag. How bad could that be for us? Manuel is threat 3. If we trash Manuel, we have no multi-access. And we played our 1 Praxis so far. Yeah, go get him. I might have been responsible not to do that line. I don't think Miss Bones actually... Miss Bones probably did pay out. Amanuensis is also very unfortunately 3 influence. We have Seb Secret Text? We do. But with a Spin Doctor on the table, it's not that good. Go got him? Go get him, excuse me. I think the best things to trash here are DJ Fenner's, Manuel, and Nuka. That's my guess. Obviously, from the other side of the table, it might look different. Like, you don't trash Bones, you don't trash Class Act. Tag is whatever. Feels like Seb, Iru, and Nuka. I think Manuel is... Yeah. You do one of Ear or do one of Manuel, that's for sure. But you can't leave both of them. We're just gonna lose Seb text as soon as Fenris is gone? Yes, yeah. If you trash Fenris, we lose Seb. Oh, yeah, but it's additional cost to trash it. So I think that you have to pay the additional cost before Seb goes. So I didn't think you have to pay here. But then we don't get the protection for the next two. So yeah, you have to order that in the right order. You do DJ Fenris first. Menuensis for draw odd radish is 3 influence. It's so rough. Oh man. Okay, we probably scoop here. Oh, Nuka. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good. All right. Love it. What if the secret Seb text is making Shastushka hit harder? I think legwork is good, but like the thing is like Seb should not let the text fire because then you're losing your Aquas Eris. That felt really not good. Oh yeah, she's on 2 credits and she left Manuel. I was considering it. It was probably correct. Yeah, I think it was probably correct to break the 2 click taxes because we don't lose there. So now I want to run archives, run R&D, run HQ. Oh, we drew. So we can choose 2 of those. I think we run archives first. And then we run HQ and then we install an NFL, which lets us install our Kurapir, which is whatever. Yeah, so there's agendas now back in R&D. So I think 2 agendas are shuffled back in there. So that means we've gone through about, what is it, 17 cards. So we're actually not expecting more agendas in hand. So I'm going to see the 2 of R&D to lock the deck. On 2 credits, she can res an ablative, nothing much else. And it's not great to res it when threat text isn't active. This is where Manuel's really good. Oh. I mean, that protects Manuel. And this does damage. Okay. So now Manuel's a bit harder to deal with. Well, I sort of have to. Should you ditch the MIC there? Should she have ditched? No, definitely not. It's not worth it to protect a Rashida, right? Like, we're paying for the Managarm already. Oh, Regolith, right. That's good. The rips are starting. We know she's an MIC in hand. We have, what's it called? Like, we could top deck run HQ, gain 9 credits, and then just play tag me, sort of. Oh, Manuel! It just takes a card from hand. So now we have to win off singles, which is like within the realm of doability. We need to draw a pinhole here really bad. I guess friend of a friend, is it? Top of R&D is unknown. We've played all our multi-axis. I think we just draw for a pinhole. Beating the mines! No, we got 2. I'm kidding. Come on. Okay, we don't have pinholes. So we meet in the mines. We have 2 connections. It's generally not very good. At least if we do this, we can remove the tag and install a connection using Seb's text, or Az's text, excuse me. So Miss Bones is going to be 2 credits. Sorry, class act. I thought we had a class act in hand. Oh, we bottomed it. So I guess it's this. This is bad. She's going to stabilize now with Regolith. Regolith is actually not that common in PD lists. I think PD lists have moved to like greasing. Why NFL there instead of friend? Because it's less clicks. This is 2 clicks for 2 credits. NFL is 1 click, and then you install the friend of a friend from hand. Right? This is just much cheaper to clear a tag, I think. Oh, it's comparable, but actually getting the tag is more valuable to some extent. Because the tag, like, we actually want to gain the tag sometimes, but probably not. A bit too little too late, I think. This is going to just be painful because it's only singles. We know an MIC in hand, and it's just hanging out there, I guess. I guess that's just hanging out there. Win the game so easy on the single axis. Yeah, I know. 6 cards in hand. Oh, yeah, sometimes it just be like that. Sorry about that. You shuffle 2 agendas back in. All right. I'm glad we got out of that sooner than later, but oh my god, is this clumsy. I think we have to play a bit more cautious, and obviously playing against PD is like, she can really put the gas on. We got lucky that she only scored out 1 agenda. 2 agendas, no ice, into 3 agendas, no ice. You did the best outs? That wasn't even playing the outs. That was just like touching cards. Like, I appreciate the compliment, but like that's not playing to your outs. That's just like, I guess they're gonna touch cards. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, that's a bummer. I don't think I have Doof in here, but it feels slow. Meeting the Minds is bad. I think this deck, like, it's weird to say that because obviously we opened up with like 3 of our most important unique connections. Like, imagine we didn't have DJ Fenris, how like not great this deck might have looked. But you just can't play this card. It's way too expensive. Damn, I'm good at the moment. All right, how's it going? I think you didn't touch 4 points and 2 X's. I'd probably just build lock and win. I can see that. I got nothing going for me. Yeah. Yeah, we touched good cards. I think we're gonna try it again. I don't think we learned anything. I think we should have more card draw though. I think we should be on 3 Nuka. It's weird that mom doesn't include the or heap wording. We've seen on a lot of tutors. I guess it's more of a shaper thing. It's more of an anarch thing. It'd be make it less bad. Yeah, for sure. But then I'd complain about even more recursion. 29 cards to consider, and you looked at 2x of them. Reasonable to me. What do you mean? You could catch out these bad cards by playing 0. Yeah, but 0 is anti-meeting a mind synergy. You need those cards in hand. You need to keep those connections for a turn where you're not going to install them because they're worth a credit. We need more burst draw. I'm waiting for you to play Corp to show you the power of the silly mana recursion they've given us. Uh-oh. That's worrisome for sure. All right, let's do another one. Thanks for the game, eh? I'm going to definitely be running a bit more. But I'd be down to see it. Gee. Probably did 24 cards in the deck and 5 cards in hand. You looked at 2 cards and found agendas. I think the density on R&D was higher than 1 in 5, considering she shuffled a couple cards back. So on average, she should have seen like 3 agendas there. It looks like she saw 1 and shuffled 2 back. So the density on R&D is probably around 1 in 4 at that point in the game. We got really lucky on the 1 in 6 Luminal. Like, there's no way around that for sure. All right. Is there anything we can do? I think we just need more card draw because this is very expensive. I think anything that saves clicks should be worth considering. And maybe that's what Julie's for, but like, yeah, that's definitely what Julie's for. So let's cut Chesva's because whatever. We're going to regret that really soon. And then I want to play another Nuka and another class act. So we'll do like that. How do we get another Nuka in there? We have to cut Manuel. We can't. Friend of a friend. We probably can't. I honestly think friend of a friend is not as good as, am I wrong to think friend of a friend is not as good as no free lunch? Am I wrong? Like, no free lunch is obviously not gaining you money. It's 1 click. And friend of a friend is inherently 2 clicks. Now, it doesn't work with our tech stuff of DJ Seb, but it just doesn't seem that great. I think Valentina's extra. I think networking is extra. I think Fauve is fine if you aren't taxed to hell by Rogue. Yeah, we're going to add a 3rd Rogue. I think network is 2 extra, and I think that's fine. We probably should kind of meeting the minds. But I just want another nuke in there because I want burst draw. So click starve and makes Fauve worse? It does, but ideally Julie solves some of that. But Julie only works on the first one. But friend of a friend seems so much slower than no free lunch that I'd be like kind of willing to drop a friend of a friend, 2 friend of the friends to play like a no free lunch and another Praxis. Like, I think that might be fine. Maybe. Isn't it also consideration? It's slightly consideration, but with Seb, you reduce the install cost to 1, and then it becomes an economy card. So like, you don't want your cards to be free because free cards don't work with Thunder Art Gallery. It's a 1-up in the deck, so whatever. Or it doesn't work with Seb. So actually, like, being 2 is exactly where you want it to be. So we'll try this change. Praxis is like kind of good with friend of a friend though. We'll try this. I don't think this made the deck better, but at least we're going to be able to notice the difference. Pretty obviously, I think. Which is kind of what we want. Hey, if you're a Netrunner player and you're not like a competitive grinder, what do you think about PD? Do y'all enjoy playing into PD? Because I know I do. Just feels like fair Netrunner. Like, I don't know. It's archetypal Netrunner in a way that's always comforting. But like, are people tired of playing against PD? Is the honest, genuine archetypal Netrunner not the most exciting thing to play into? Diogen says, seems to be that Seb with a load of connections could be fun. That's what we tried to do, and it doesn't work, and this is where you end up. It's so frustrating. Oh, Seb, excuse me. Seb with a load of connections is just a Seb deck, and it is a Seb deck. Games are slow today. If you don't get a match, I'm happy to jump in with a different corp deck. Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll see how it goes. A lot of players are at EMEA right now. I mostly play Crim and I like playing against PD for that reason. Yeah, right? Dandy, I don't know anyone named PD. Good old PD. I'm still new, or feel like I am anyways. But I'm still new. I mostly play Crim. Oh, I see. But I like playing against PD. Yeah, it's a fun matchup. I think there's things you want to do to tech into it. Like, immediately if you're playing with the standard card pool, 2 pinholes, you can have access to that unless you're playing in a startup, I think. And then 2 miss bones in standard. That's really good as well. I do not recognize this name. I'm excited to play into PD because of the crew in Chicago almost always seems to be trying to kill me. It would be a breath of fresh air. Hey, thanks, you too. All right, we're playing against Hyobu, 54 card deck, so I have no idea what that means. We don't have anything that says reveal on it. We have to watch out that we don't get complete imaged, I guess. That's the only thing Hyobu can do, but I don't know what Hyobu's going to do. We have to watch out because any face check can be size and time. But 54 card deck Hyobu, I feel like we can greed for a slower game. This is where like I'm much more excited to play against PD than a 54 card Hyobu with like no disrespect to my opponent. It's just like my preference. We're going to mulligan. That seems better. I'm excited to play to PD. I read that. PD hard countered my main runner deck for a while. It's more heavily teched against now, so I don't mind. Did they mull? They mulled and opened with a Spin Doctor. That's usually good for us. We have to just watch out we don't die to snare or anything like that. So we'll see. I think here we like do very little. We just do Sure Gamble Class Act. They installed then Drew. They're going to discard 2. I'm like scared. I don't think we have to go on speed to check archives here. There's no like real Regenesis threat. So I think we just do like the really uninteresting thing. Do we install Julie? No, we've already installed a connection. What do we not want? A second Julie, no considerations there. We drew a Thunder Art, that's good. We drew the Manuel, that's scary. We don't have card draw in our hand, but it's okay. We can do like Class Act. Uh-oh, okay, this is what the game is. So how do we play this game? This is where like your deck really doesn't matter. It's just what is this? There are 3 credits, so it could be 2 core damage on turn 1. Mind games, yeah. I don't like playing mind games online. I don't know. You've probably heard this rhetoric already from a JNet player, but it is what it is. I'm just going to try and get our Carmen down before we lose it to damage. We can repair it eventually with Prog, or sorry, with Praxis. We just have to wait till threat 3. It's an NGO front. Okay, so it looks like they want to have snare money. So we figured that line out. So Carmen for 3 is fine. We could do Carmen, Thunder Art Gallery. So we'll do Sure Gamble, Carmen. We should draw for the filter draw, and that should be it. We didn't plan that turn out that well, but don't at me. No free lunch. Hot Pursuit seems a bit better. I don't see us getting to HQ that soon. It's just Charlotte's probs. I don't think you often double advance Charlotte, but single advance is Charlotte for sure. Coming back to the game after a year, so how do you change the size zoom of the interface on Jinteki? So I'm zooming in and out with the scroll wheel and control. So that's the thing I'm doing. You can do that on any browser. My stuff is bigger. I'm using a plugin called Cyberfeeder, which is free. Rocky makes this. She did a great job. It's only for Firefox. You can search it by searching Cyberfeeder, this name up here, Netrunner plugin. And that has some stylus effects or some CSS modifications to make things bigger. These numbers and symbols being broken, like that's not great. That's obvious, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's try this. It doesn't feel great when PD keeps playing the same seamless launch over and over, but it's fine. I just wish the deck wasn't the same as it's been for several years. That's a hard problem to fix for sure. But it's good that there's like a stalwart, interesting deck. A stalwart, easy to get into deck that you can play at a high level to some extent. Let's draw. Okay. If we install the Kurapira, then we want to check archives because there could be damage in there. I just don't want to lose it. Like, he played pretty safe with their breakers. I'm going to check archives. I don't know what we expect to see from this. They haven't fired their ability once, but like agendas going back is fine. It looks like they fixed their hand. Okay. So they're playing on 22 to 23 agendas. We haven't used Az's ability, so we can install the Manuel. I think we'd install the Julie sooner so that we can at least do rogue trading, 2 clicks and a tag for 6. Thunder Art Gallery. We want to keep our hands up because it could be a Blood in the Water deck. But they're going to be like playing Mushin Notion. Or sorry, Mitosis. So we want to always start with a lot of cards in our hand. So advance. Yep. We didn't run the last one. If Netrunner was just Rego PD versus Greg Kit, it would still be fun. I think so. Julie, some serious cooking. I don't feel great about this. Okay, what's the worst case if we don't run this? Like, that's the big thing. Running it is interesting. What happens if we don't run it? Like, what about if we just go get a Hermes? Nice. Nuka Julie is good. So we install Nuka for nothing. If we draw, Julie's not optional. Bummer. We're on 7, and then we can do install. Okay, we need to install the Shibboleth so we don't lose it to damage. And then we have our Breaker Suite, so we can just do this. All right, we're setting up. They're going to be playing with what now? Mushin? Yeah. They have copies of Mushin. So it doesn't seem like a Charlotte. We have to respect Ronin. 2 ice on the remote server. I wish we had diversion for some financial pressure. Draw last click. Ideally, you want to do that in the other order, but who hasn't been there? So here we're on a rogue trading. Eru would be pretty good right now. I think we can just continue to set up. So we're rogue trading. That takes 1 click for 6 and a tag, which is not bad. If we install Thunder or Gallery for 3, we go into 6. We can remove a tag installing a Valentina. That's the bad order. I think we install Valentina, remove the tag. We should have planned our whole turn out. So install Valentina, remove the tag, cost 1. That puts us down to 7. So we should draw first. Probably should Nuka. Because we want to do Valentina, use Valentina. That's cards out of hand thinking. So we have 3 clicks left. Can we not Nuka? If we do Thunder or Gallery, eat the no free lunch, we install Nuka. I think we can afford to do this. Oh, we have a meeting of minds, y'all. Wait a second. We have a meeting of the minds. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. This card's cracked. Meetings of minds. Search for connection. DJ Fenris. Gain. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We made a credit. Yo, that was sick. That was sick. That's exactly what we want to be doing. Now we just NFL install a card, discard 1. It's happening. So we can install the Thunder or Gallery and then use no free lunch on our turn. Why not? Remove a tag to install and use as. We could do it on the opponent's turn. It doesn't really matter. And then we install something that we think is valuable. I think it'll just be the DJ for Seb. And then we discard. I'm going to get rid of the Mistbones. Okay, we're cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking. 1 card, then build script. Let's go. Hey. DJ Fenner was on top of your deck anyways because Jaina Shuffler's made a spite. That's okay. That's okay. Upgrade on HQ. Hate it. Could be a Mwanza. Gotta not have to have that be a problem. They're not doing anything though, so we should be running centrals. Manuel's important. Praxis is important. So I think we just like, you know, unfortunately do the thing that we do, which is not a lot, which will be rogue trading. Like, this is great. The corporation it's turn 6. They haven't made us deal with anything besides 1 advanced trap. So we definitely want to be drawing to go get our, what's it called? Our bounce power. So we can install Nuka. We could rogue trading for Nuka, but Nuka's already free. So we can do that. I don't think we want another meeting of minds. I don't think we do. We install Manuel. We could do gamble, install Manuel. Huh. So we do install Manuel. I think we could run for a single in R&D. If we hit a snare, it's not great. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. This is way too hard to pilot. So we install Manuel. We want to ideally install Manuel with Seb, which means we should take a tag. Did we not take a tag yet? No, we just nuked. So that was clickless nuka. What have we done? We've done no tags. So the Manuel's useless. So we could rogue trading. No, I think we just install NFL. And just install another NFL, whatever. Okay, we're good to go. That was, again, another nothing burger of a deck. Does this mean I can blame Jaina for shuffling poorly instead of my own poor deck building? Yes, 100%. And Jaina knows it. When, like, when you sign up your account, they sign off on a EULA for you, saying, like, we consent that you can blame us publicly for your bad draw from your ass deck you built. 23 cards on this deck. Eru's coming up. Hermes is coming up. We run that. Advance it twice, right? Could be a spin doctor. Install draw. Okay. Not sure what that is. Could be table snare. We kind of like table snare. This looks like an anemone setup because they don't really have money to do much else with threatening Resing Ice. So we'll draw 3 clicklessly. Do we have anything important? No. So we'll run Table Snare. We actually could have installed Miss Bones. That might have been better. Yeah, Miss Bones actually does something. Sorry. So we'll do that. So we can install Miss Bones for 1. I think we'll just take the padding. I think the play there was to RT instead of gamble and then clear tag with NFL. Yeah, I could see that. It's a Table Snare. Yeah, shit. I should have seen that coming. We lost Manuel. That's bad. Valentina. We're not going to trash this. Oh, we installed a connection for 2 viewer. That's so goofy. Honestly, no. I want to keep my hand size up. Man, that had big Table Snare energy. Yeah, we did see coming. You call it, and then you still make the mistake into it so that no matter what happens, you look smart. That's good. So now if we clear the tag using the basic action ability, we can install a class act for 2 credits, which is too many cards. So we're just going to remove the tag and then install Julie for free. So the big thing with NFL is we want to keep them for snares or like other more important turns. On turns that we can afford to like just use the NFL, we'll use the NFL. But they're going to be more important cards. Oh, show us your hand. Yeah, DJ Fenders is really good. So this is the first Hyobu trigger. Attitude adjustment, celebrity gift, Fuji acid, and Geofriend. So this looks like a grinder of a deck. If they're playing 2 attitude adjustment, they just want us to run out of cards. I don't actually think they want anything else. We have 8 credits and NFLs. I think we can just touch R&D here. I don't want to lose Eru to damage or Praxis to damage. That is our... We have another Praxis somewhere in the bottom 18, but we're just running out of cards. They're letting us do our thing, which, like, they probably should. Imagine if Snare fired Hyobu because of forced reveal. Yeah. Oh, by the way, London, how's it going? Tattoo Bola. Okay. I think we can afford to break that. I think them having another 4 credits doesn't really matter that much. Data loop. Okay, so they advance a card in server 4. I did not notice that. I did not see that at all. They just celebrity give advance. That would have actually been kind of important. We just need to draw into our Hermes. Hermes is so good against this archetype. I fell asleep last night watching the replay of you playing Az on Tuesday, and it turned into this now. And for a second, my brain was like, wow, he's still going. Hey, Clayton. Yeah, we're playing a very different Az for sure. But I can see there. I can see that. All right, rogue trading, install Eru, remove tag, install class act. This is just such peak install Netrunner, and I don't want to run HQ. Okay, what are we bottoming? I think it's the meeting. Streaming for days on days. Reminds me of when I went to college for when my friend slept for 22 hours. He woke up and was convinced he traveled back in time. Ah, food, flower sermon, sick. It was on the table. We should have ran that. I honestly did not see that it got advanced. They also didn't swap the Tattoo Bola. So what do we see on top of the deck? It could be a data loop, which we have no good way to beat that. But here I think we just do Hermes for 1, run R&D. They discarded 1, so we kind of have to respect Regenesis. We know they have a Fuji in hand. Actually, if this is probably a Hokusai, so I don't think we actually be that concerned about it. Unfortunately, without Manuel, which we should probably practice back, these are going to be single accesses. You want to try bringing Az with Tremolo? It's kind of cool. Oh, shit, a tag. Wait a second, I love tag. Tag is my friend. That's really funny. If we had a Miss Bones in hand, which we do, we're going to be able to trash the Hokusai cheaper. It is a Hokusai. Eat, not Praxis. Fine. Fine. No. Not like that. Okay. They're down to 2 credits. That's good. We'll just draw up. Well, that's useless. And I think here, we just clear the tag. Their hand is like 2 attitude adjustments and some other stuff. And a data loop. Attitude adjustments, another celebrity gift, which they probably do credit celebrity gift. And an NGO front, which like, that's a bummer. I think we just like... Now we probably NFL here and don't. We can do it on their turn. I wish we had something actually relevant to install. They clearly have tag punishment, I'm imagining. We actually are going to need the rogue tradings. The problem is we don't have enough cards. Like, we're going to run out of cards. They have no money. They can't afford to punish. They can trash stuff. But if they're playing Faunatria, they probably have tag punishment. I don't know. I think we're just going to run out of cards because we've installed way more cards than you want to. Yeah, Celebrity Gift. So we know Data Loop. We know 2 attitude adjustments. Tattoo Bolas in hand. So they have infinite economy and Data Loop. Okay, that's fine. They can snare us. It's okay. Draw. Great. So let's Bravado R&D. Try and win off of singles. I'm not worried. Kurapir finally hitting, like, farming Tattoo Bolas into Kurapir is really good for us. We can't trash that much stuff off the top, but we can trash NGO friends. So this either is a loop or a Tattoo Bola. They need the money for the server. We see no anemones. Snare. Hyobu's fired twice now? Doesn't seem that good. Oh, they're flower sermoning. Oh, they can feed us snares, but of course they can. This thing has text. That's really frustrating. In theory, they wait. Okay, so we know this is probably the data loop. What does this do? Reveal, draw 2, add 1 card from the top. Okay. And this is only once per turn? Yeah, okay. So that's fine. Ideally, we rogue trading and then clear the tag, but we should be drawing up first. Oh, right. That's what we have left. Okay. Flower Sermon can make R&D runs dangerous. There's only 2 more snares. Like, we'll eat them. They didn't show any snares on Celebrity Gift. Yeah, they'd have to draw it. So we know that their hand has Tattoo Bola, attitude adjustment. 2 NGO fronts is annoying, but they can use that to push into their remote server. So they didn't show us 1 card. Hyobu has gained 3 credits. Second ice. This is going to be really annoying. Like, all they do is they wait, and then they push in this remote server. Like, in theory, the best thing we should be doing is just clicking for 4 credits. It's kind of annoying. For sure. So they have to wait for us to say access, and if we do, like, we can't jack out. But here we just click for 4. Oh, do you have Eero to break from archives? Oh, yeah, we do have Eero. Yeah, rogue trading and then Eero is okay. But we're at threat 3. Yeah, why the heck not? Why not? Why not? Good point. I totally forgot we had this button. She's been on the table for a bit. We value installed her. So this sees 2 cards. Oh, we have 2 tags? What are we doing? Why did we have to rogue trading there? We could have just hit Eero. I mistaked. Manuel would help too. Yeah, Manuel would help. Sice and Titan on the top, followed by complete image. Okay. Do we have a networking? No. Choose a card in the grip. I'm good. I'm just gonna like not. I'm just gonna have it's not very good. We spent 2 clicks for 6. It's pretty bad. So we know that they have a Saisentan. Of course they do. So Saisentan may be on archives. We break that for 3. Over installed on the snare. We don't know what that is. Probably an NGO front. Yeah, I'm assuming NGO front. We'll just check it. Server 5 is a snare. Yeah, they over installed it. So NGO front, whatever. That probably wasn't worth the click for us, but I'll make them keep them honest. This is 2 new cards. We're good. Assuming that's a Saisentan, which we are going to run out of money. Like, there's no way they call it vent. I'm kidding. We actually are going to run out of money. Like, we just need more money. So they can sermon here, feed us some snares. They have infinite money. They might not be on punitive. Hyobu has gained a credit. Okay, so we're seeing 2 cards. We could die to double snare. First snare, okay. Yeah, we will trash. Send a message, okay. So now we have some issues. We have to not die to punitive. And we have to clear some tags. The problem is rogue trading is tags. So we at least want to get to 3 cards. I'm going to bottom this because we might lose it to damage. I think we probably die. There's a bunch of cases in which we die. Uses ability once per snare. It doesn't work like that. It's funny. You search reveal for Hyobu and then there's a bunch of cards. Wait, because the runner reveals snare, yeah, so it doesn't actually trigger. This is remove a tag, which is akin. Both of these are like the same economic viability. Like one is save a click to gain 3, and then you clear the tag, so this is fine. We're not going to do that. So we can't beat punitive. So the best we can do is just have more cards in hand. Have NFL for tag, yeah, it's super comparable. So now they need punitive into complete image or to double punitive. We know a fair bit of their hand. It looks like we're not going to die. So now we just click for credits and then send an Eru and hopefully it works. They only have one more snare and luckily attitude adjustment doesn't bring snares back. But like 54 card deck, so I don't know how consistently they're going to be finding anything. So this sucks. How do we rogue trading for value? That might be an NGO front. I can't tell what their agenda spread is because it's like 3-pointers and 2-pointers. You think what I'm thinking? What does Hot Pursuit do for us? So Hot Pursuit, we run Phonotria, it costs 4, we take a tag, we gain 9, we touch cards. It's not that great. So if we rogue trading, it's 2 clicks for 6, then we have to clear the tag, but we have no good way to clear the tag. Like we have no tag cheats. So it functionally becomes 2 clicks for 4 credits, which is like, it's fine. Like it's better than clicking for a credit. Look at all these cards we're not installing. Bravado might just be better than Hot Pursuit. Running HQ, yeah, I think it would be. Because like that's the issue too. So like we get to a certain point where we don't care about Seb's text. Once we're set up, we don't care about this. This looks like an NGO front, and if it is a 5-3, we can bounce R&D and go R&D. Or we'd actually go archives. We'd see more cards. So I don't think we do anything here. Are we having fun yet? Oh man, this is not very interesting. So the only way we could charge twinning was with Miss Bones. Our Meeting of the Minds wasn't that good this game. I think we're coming to a really unfortunate conclusion about a lot of the cards we wanted to try out. Yeah, losing the Manuel is not great there. Now, conceivably, you could have gone tag me here for little loss. I don't think that's true, because I'm worried if they're playing Phonotria that they might actually have tag punishment. Oh, good. They're using a Flower Sermon. Like, you're right that they could trash your stuff, but I'm worried that they actually have tag punishment. That's the hard thing with Phonotria, is like, they might just be on Mindscaping. They clearly value that sort of, you know, utility. Grind City? Yeah, there's the NGO front. It is what it is. Oh, the res of Ampy was sent a message. I missed that. That's not very cheap for us to break. There's no way around that. I played Phonotria because it's a cheap sentry. I honestly think Phonotria is really good. Right? Like, it costs 1 credit less than Saisantan to break for most breaker suites, but the tag is, like, hard to cheat around. Now, obviously, they don't know if you care about either damage or tags, but it is genuinely taxing. As much as, like, there is a bit more Airblades in this meta than there ever was. So Flower Sermon is draw 2, pull 1 back. So literally Mindscaping. Oh, attitude adjustment. Oh, no. At least the agenda's going back in R&D is good for us, but, like, come on. Fuji going back? Okay. So there's 1 Fuji in R&D. Airblades doesn't stop the spider? Oh, you're right. It's a pass ability. You'd have to hush it. Yeah, very true. Good point. Good point. Airblades only does on encounters, which we're getting fewer and fewer of them. There's actually not that many in the meta. We know this deck is on data loop. That's the like, worst case scenario. But this realistically could be a deck that's on also the big old snake. Yeah, Airblades does break the spider though. That is true. You can't just send it. Thanks, World Tree. Okay, so they put a 5-3 back in R&D. I just don't think we have to do anything. It feels bad that every time our value cards come up, we say no. So that turn was like, wait, we started on 14 and we ended on 19, and we're meant to feel good about that? What are we doing? That's awful. They Hyobu, they know we have a Pinel threading. Okay. So. Wow, it was only slightly better than clicking for credit, but it burned through a Julie. That's really bad. When you put it that way, it does seem bad. It does seem bad. I think Julie made it slightly better. I think we ran out of Julie a turn ago. So we can Eru. Hopefully this isn't bad. See 1 card with Flower Sermon. If it's really bad, like we have to clear a tag, we have to draw a card, whatever. No, thank you though. That's an anemone. All right, brute force damage. That's gonna be a problem. We can still access to snare. The problem is like we die to a complete image. So we actually might want to just jack out here. Right, so the issue here is if we hit a snare on the top of the deck, which there's 2 left, one of these is a face down snare, one of them is a snare on the table, we can just die. So what we're going to do is we're going to just jack out here. We're just going to draw, clear tag. I don't think we play class act. Nice try. 4 credits for 3 clicks is a bad trade. It is. It makes Caddy Jones look pretty good. Bravado's so many credits on their mode server though, yes, but oh, just Charlotte, it's fantastic. Yeah, but like, how much it costs us to break a NASA? Yeah, how much money it costs to break a member NASA? It's like 7 credits, 6 credits. It's so bad. Shit will is so bad. So Charlotte now at least going HQ is fine. Are both boomerangs gone? I think no boomerangs are gone. Both boomerangs are gone. I stand very quickly corrected. Both boomerangs are totally gone. I don't think I care about what's on the table. Let them draw. They won't. No, they will. Ah, just grinder anemone. Great. So pinholes also 2 are gone, but I don't think we mind with Charlotte. So I think server 6 might be a spin doctor. That's the worst case scenario because they shovel back snares and stuff, like snares and anemone, just like we run out of cards eventually. This is where Ash and Epilogue gets really good, right? I think we just Eero and see what happens. Worst case is another anemone, I think. Eventually we'll run HQ because they have to draw with Charlotte. What's it cost to break a World Eater? Cloud Eater, excuse me. Like 9? That's a lot. This is a grinder, and this is again where like having a more concise win condition is like, that's actually a really big thing. Like cards like twinning and stuff that give you a bit more ability to close the game on your turns, and you don't want to be closing the game on the corpse turns, because there's a lot of decks that want to close the game on, like, again, this is turn 17. If we don't do anything, they need a lot of time to like potentially win the game. Maybe just install advance. Only 7 double boost. It is the worst case. That's fine. Cool. Great. Thunder Gallery of pawn on tag. I think it's very unlikely to be a consideration. I don't know. There's a chance though the name also Thunder because it came alongside Liza Talking Thunder, so it might be like either from I don't know where Liza's from or is sponsored by Liza. There could be a connection there, but I don't think there's no way that it's not been seen as a joke. All right, draw, remove tag. I think we want to bottom the Praxis. It's her art gallery, I always assumed, yeah. I'm assuming it's her gallery. Liza Talking Thunder, best First Nations character in gaming? I'm a big fan of Winifred Habamook. There's also a whole faction of First Nations folks in Doomtown. But honestly, I think Winifred is a more interesting character, or more exciting character. Maybe the fact is that Winifred's been around longer because Liza got banned out quickly. Winnie's very strong. Yeah, Winnie's fun too. Winnie's playstyle is super fun. Liza looks like my grandmother. Oh, that's super cool. There might actually be agendas in archives. I think we should just go check archives. We're not worried unless they advance this. So we'll just... I didn't mean to draw. Oh, that's a big mistake. I did not have any intention of drawing. That's unfixable. Whatever. Maybe we lose to Regenesis. So I'm just going to check this. We had no intentions of drawing there. We would actually be really happy to have a what's it called? The thing that you load 3 credits. I think they don't realize that this is not an Eru run. This is an archives run. Because they just used a flower sermon. Which, like, if that's a good way to play around it, so be it. So they threw out another complete image. We trashed one. They threw out an attitude adjustment. We saw the second snare, no surprise. They threw out a data loop and Vampire Nasa. So unfortunately, we have an extra card here. I work with the Wampanoag, so I also think Winnie is pretty awesome. Algonquin representation. Woo! Okay. Don't want to discard a card because of damage. Server 6 could be anything. They know the top of the deck. We could go HQ here, but it's just too hard to do that too late in the turn. I think we just throw out a card. It's like literally the worst thing we could do here is throw out a card. We only have so much hit points. So many hit points. But yeah. I get this reflex whenever I see a 54 or 59 card deck. It's like they often don't have a really elegant and like way to get to their win condition because their deck is just like obviously slightly a bit more inconsistent than a 49. So games usually go longer, and that doesn't often make them more interesting. I also need to know how this ends. You and I both. Single advance looks like an NGO front. We've seen no advanceable traps, right? So it can't be the NGO front because 3 NGO front are on the table. So what's the worst case scenario? Checkist, 1 core damage. I think we just send it R&D. The problem is if we don't run Eero, I'm just going to see 2 on Eero. If there's a snares on the table, the snares on the table. I'd rather run server 7 here than anything else. Another Charlotte? Yeah, another Charlotte's kind of likely. The thing is, if we don't do anything, how quickly do they mill out? That's like the question, because they only have 13 cards left. Like, we're expecting to take the 3rd snare here, or at least this will be safe, but we see 2 cards, so maybe we'll get there. Very important to understand, Fuji has an additional, when it's scored, sorry, not an additional cost, so you can't just win the game, even if you're on 0 cards in hand. Which, like, we're getting there. Winnie did very well in TFA. She was breaking snakes left and right. Nimble, light-footed, let her skate around. That's such a fun scenario. Or campaign. I think TFA is my favorite campaign. All right, give me a snare. Ooh, choices. Crap. That's bad. Just touch cards. Reaper function. Okay. That's frightening. 4 might be a Reaper function, but they actually are trying to grind us down. I think going HQ is probably where we have to go, but like clicking for credit economy is sick. So like the worst case scenario is the longevity, please. No. No! I just want the game to be over. Don't shuffle 3 cards back. 3 snares going back into R&D. Let's go. This does shuffle though, so if we run R&D, we see 2 new cards. Bummer. What a bummer. Okay. Snare, and an unseen card. Yippee. Can't flower ceremony anymore? No. But now we have to deal with like it's more snare damage than basically, well, equal to what we have cards in hand. I don't know if that's a Charlotte. I don't know. HQ. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They shuffled the Fuji back in. So there's like 12 points across these cards. So I think we just run HQ. We probably, I don't think we want to take damage. I don't think we do. If we hop Pursuit, we can take 1 Phonotria damage. I think we should avoid taking Phonotria damage. I don't think we should take Phonotria damage. The problem is that we're axing singles here. Like, whatever. We'll take a single. Take a tag. Yep, the 1 card we knew. Bummer. Okay. So how many snares do we know they are? They're all in the deck. Can we walk away from this? I don't want to do this. Okay. Charlotte. It was a Charlotte. The bigger issue here is like if they do have a 5-3 and they just do install advance in server 4, like we actually don't have the money to be able to deal with that. So like ideally they're ending the game this turn. Yeah, that's the best case for us because the game is over. Yeah, this is the sort of like board state where you want some sort of, you know, building pressure. Like the difference when you turning wheel every turn or you have Chesva, it's like a Chesva would have made us probably about 20 credits. But we don't have it. So the best we can do is run R&D and hope. If they're very clever, there's actually agendas and archives. So the worst case scenario is like we run R&D C2 Just screaming into R&D might win. We'd rather Eru because we see 2 cards. So we break Anemone, break Saisantan. That drops us down to 0 credits. And then we do credit, run back on Anemone. Unfortunately, we did not stack our hand well. We could have stacked our hand to have more events, to fewer events, to like, we actually should be playing fewer events to play around Saisantan. I think the last card's a Praxis, so it doesn't really matter. But like, we just run archives and check, because I think if they're clever, they should throw out agendas here. Do we save a credit on Anemone for 1 damage? Yeah, 1 damage doesn't matter. I think we save a credit on this. Because we're assuming that's the game. We're just going to run archives after this. So we're not going to break this twice. I hit the 1 hardware. That's the worst case. Bummer. Come on. This one's the good one. Spin Doctor. Okay, great. We're assuming that's the game. So we probably just want to check archives. We know there's an Anemone in HQ. I think throwing out face down cards is like, I don't know. I need to assume this is the, like, they're on 24, one on 4 cards in hand, 1 credit. So we have to break most of this. So we just do credit, run archives. We let this fire. We break all of that, I think. We didn't see any mindscapings or anything. But this is like peak grinder to me. I don't like this at all. And then maybe we die to like triple mindscaping. That'd be fine. I'm giving them pretty good respect running archives here. But if they had an agenda, it goes straight into server 4. So I don't think we have to run this. There's no way, right? Ooh, standard procedure. Late game. Okay. We're free. Deck's bad. Deck's bad, y'all. I don't think a Seb does anything. A good game. Thanks for the game. Yeah, this is where I'd rather play PD for sure. 36 minutes. I don't know. I think it's like we don't make a lot of good decisions, which is a problem, right? We gained 87 credits. Okay. Have we considered just cutting a twinning and Paladin for getting away with it, adding a MOM and using a spare influence for a decent code gate breaker? Have we considered just cutting a twinning and a Paladin from getting away with it? What do you mean, Tanuki? The problem with twinning is we don't have that many ways to charge it. Paladin just doesn't work with connections, so it's like very, very enter-synergistic. Steve with Benhar and MON, just good stuff. It's hard to say whether that's worth it or not. I think you have to try it. I do really like this, like Steve Cambridge, Benhar decks for sure. The deck requires 5 clicks to set up to make like 2 credits a turn. Yeah, the payoff is not even that good. And it's like the sort of thing that maybe at some point MOM will look a bit better. Because right now, obviously, it's in a bit of a rough spot because it's very hard to build a synergistic package around MOM. And at the end of the day, if MOM is just a card, they say like, I'm going to use this to put Banhar on the table. Like, I think that's exactly why I don't like MOM. But it just doesn't do anything very good. It just does not do anything well. It's just a shame it can't close games out. Like, we probably didn't play that perfectly. I think if we had a Manuel and we could see slightly more cards that actually mattered. We saw a lot of cards. We did see a lot of cards, and it's kind of hard to beat Flower Sermon on R&D, that's for sure. My roommate tried modifying getting away with it. Oh, that's what that meant. Wait, what is getting away with it? Is that a deck list? I think it's really difficult to modify the list without making it worse. Oh, is that one of the mass draw cards? Hold on, we'll find it. Oh, that's what this is, excuse me. So the question was, cutting a twinning a Paladin from getting away with it, adding an MOM, and using the spare influence for a decent code gate breaker. Okay, so my guess is if you want to do that in this list, drawing the twinning is important. The deck has a lot of multi-axis angles, right? Like it has Docklands, it has Awake, it has 2 twinning. Getting your twinning on turn 1 for 3 extra credits is probably not what you need to be doing, that it's worth it. But you also definitely don't want to pay 4 credits for your Paladin Puemo. Right, like the idea with Paladin Puemo is it's very installable on turn 1 and it helps you snowball. So playing a Meeting of the Minds to get your Paladin Puemo means you're paying a 4 credit econ card for a 1 credit per turn econ card, right? Like there's just no way that makes sense. It's way too expensive. Even if MOM pays for itself, it's a click slow. Yeah, even if it was like way cheaper, it'd be like pretty slow. So my guess is no. I do think there's a chance that you could play an MOM instead of the twinning, but then paying 6 credits for twinning is kind of anti-synergistic to the sort of pressure this deck wants to put on. And when it comes to having a better decoder, like this deck actually puts more pressure on central servers. So by the time that your Shibboleth is a bit ass, ideally you have 2 Chesva, you still technically have Inside Job and Boomerang, so you generally don't get taxed out by too many code gates. I think we saw one game where Whiteblade was playing against Arizon, and that deck was playing like Rhyme and Piranhas. And that's like the worst case for this deck. It's like you just can't beat Piranhas, let alone Rhyme and Piranhas. Like you have to Boomerang it. And that deck, you play that matchup slightly differently. Like you go for early pressure if you can. Mind you, this was open deck lists, so we had an understanding what the ice would be. And then you saw that actually Eric slowed down. And then he was just charging the twinning every turn, which you need Paladin for that largely if you're not running, which is another reason why you want 2 of because you can't pay for it. And then once the twinning was full, then we did one big Boomerang run, or one big, crack like that. So getting away with it with Bennett Foddy. So that's my guess. So like the really simple idea of like saving 3 influence by playing an MOM is saying, do you want to pay 3, make it a 6 cost twinning? And I think the answer is you can't pay a 6 cost for a twinning. If you play Career Fair slightly, but like you're still making something more convoluted. It's very, very tricky. It's very, very, very hard. Thanks for streaming. Catch you later. Hey Pod, thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Shit. I don't know if there's anywhere else MOM makes any amount of sense. Like, it's not even probably worth a 3 of in this deck. But I don't think I'm playing this deck perfectly. I'm far from it. I just don't even think paying 6 credits or like 5 credits for an early DJ Fenris is worth it in this deck. Because just rogue trading is way too slow, way too clumsy. I kind of wish we had a card that was like rogue trading, but not that slow, not that clumsy. Like, imagine a Telework that gave you a tag, but instead of giving you 3 credits, it gave you 5 credits, right? Like, it's a build around that doesn't feel way too slow. Because this just feels way too slow. Especially because like removing the tag attached to this makes it a 3-click play. That's too slow. Seb would love that. I'm so excited for the future of Seb because like Seb is 1 or 2 really compelling cards away from being interesting. On that note, let's play World Tree Seb. I never played this list yet. But Tuno brought it to an event and it was really fun to watch. I think Tuno missed cut by like 2 spots. April, May. Okay. So this one was posted earlier, and then Tuno brought this to the event. Tuno's feedback was, Julie should definitely be Miss Bones. 100%, I think that. Miss Bones is just so easy to play with World Tree, which is really, 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 really good. Seb just needs Summoned Hound. Oh man, Summoned Hound and Charlie Kane is so fun. Seb is a Citadel Sanctuary near print away from being awesome. I don't think you need Citadel Sanctuary. I think Citadel Sanctuary helps, but I think Seb needs a way to run. Like my biggest issue, and I think that's Seb ended up to be Install Runner, is like you need a card like this. You need a card that gives you an incentive to run and interact. Because looking at all of these cards, there's like no reason to be interacting. You have to splash Maw because your console's not interaction based. You're playing Praxis. This deck's not even playing Praxis. Wow. But it is like you need an ability like Stargate that does something cursed but gives you a tag. Right? Like you need a Maya, not that you really want Maya, but like Seb just needs a reason where like the cost is actually a benefit every single turn that involves interacting. Be a warrior and play amanuensis. I've done it. It was such a miserable time. It was really, really miserable. And mind you, that was when there's more NBN. I do think on the HB side, a lot of the decks are on 3 greasing the palm and you can't have that. You mean Anarch has no good run events? I don't think Anarch has that many good run events. I honestly don't, Elwin. How's it going? Ryan. Forgot it was going to be Friday stream. Hello. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Like Leech is really good because Leech is very powerful with Aquaceres crew. And it means you don't have to play 3 Devil Charm abstractly. Like I think that's what you need. Like I kind of want to play a Seb deck that's like 3 Leech, 3 Aquaceres crew, 3 Devil Charm, and like 3 Stargates. As like messed up as that is. Like I want to play aggro Seb. I want to be like, I'm going to float tag. Obviously can't float tags that easily. And just like, I have reasons to put pressure on you that you have to answer with me. Because generally with Seb, you're answering to them the whole game. They're presenting the problems and you're trying to solve them in ways they don't think you can solve them. As a corporation, you don't have to play around Seb. I don't think. Shout out to Mimic. Mimic's sick. Okay, so what are we on? 3 or thrice, 3 friend or friend. We're on Price, which is great. This deck is on 2 Banhar, which is kind of cool. A single Manuel is our only multi-axis, which like such is the problems with Seb trying to make a figure out how to run. Like I don't know, do I just want a twinning that gets a charge every time you take a tag? Like I just want something like that. I want something that's interaction based. Moshing is sick. Just get rid of your bad cards to get better cards. And one of each breakers, hopefully with the World Tree, is not a problem. I think going into meta that people are playing around World Tree on a competitive level is not good for World Tree Seb, because they're icing up everything, and that's going to be a problem. Because the only way we can cheat around early ice is Aquaceris Crew into Charm and or Banhar. Tagging Wheel. All right. What did Tuna call it? Guerrilla Gardening? Sick. New runner deck. Sebastian. So was episode 56 cards too. That is something I ran into, is like playing. Oh, we'll do this. Playing Seb. I wanted to play 45 cards because clearly some of your connections were better than others. Aquaceris Crew is such an important card. And World Tree is a really cool way to cheat around that, because ideally now your inconsistency is solved by slightly consistent World Tree, as much as this is expensive. So I think that's a really cool way to do it. I don't think the deck might not have enough card draw. Luckily we have Earthrise into World Tree. Like, that's a cool engine. But there's just like so many constraints on Seb. It's really, really tricky. Runner. Let's send it. Hey, Fixby. We playing against the neutral corp? Built to last. Okay. This could be built to blast. Hey, I have a question, y'all. So built to last is the last deck I put up on the Alphabet series. Thanks, you too. We have to keep our open mind that this might not be that deck. I also want to do more replay reviews, and specifically the replay reviews that have been on the channel have been well received, but I think entirely they're all runner side. So I'm thinking of maybe doing some replay reviews from the deck list that we post. So for instance, I got a replay from a player playing the built to last deck, and I think the replay is really interesting because there's a lot of talk about a corp play. I don't think the corp plays it perfectly, but again, very few players do play it perfectly. I don't play it perfectly, but it's like a really cool way to talk about a deck, to talk about like replay reviews and focus on strong corp play, but also to like give another push to that same deck. Maybe that's going to be boring because it's more of the same content. You'd be like, you already put out 2 hours of you playing the deck. Why do we have to talk more about it? But I think it might be a nice way to like get feedback and to like force people forward, or to like be like, here's more resources to play the deck well. Also, here's some generalist corp tips. That might be a good idea, but it might be boring. All right, we have best case liberated accounts. Maw's really good if this is end of line public trail. Early Banhar is fine. Not a lot of the ice in the deck has many subroutines. Banhar's really good into like, we'll keep this. Maybe we need a World Tree. I don't know. Probably actually shouldn't keep that. I think we should keep a World Tree. It's like, what are our opening plays? Credit, lib, draw? And the other order? Hard to tell. Subliminal. Okay, this is a different list. This actually is shit. If they're playing Subliminal built to last, this is Hyper Glacier. I wasn't excited to play another 20 turn game, especially with the deck I don't know that well. That's not good. At least we can do this. Oh, you can see Andre's soul leaving his body. Yeah, there's no way that it's not subliminal messaging. It's 3 ice centrals. This has to be like Sokka-esque grind Glacier. Okay, looks like a Charlotte. Forcing the run there on 8 credits. The worst case scenario is that we end up with a tag off Pharaohs, I reckon. We, in theory, could lose this to like a hammer. That's where we're going to empty it a bit. But you don't expect the hammer on the remote server. Yeah, okay, that's not good. Not a Charlotte? That's kind of cool. Getting dealt core damage during deck selection is tragic. Yeah, I don't know. A wide range of things. Uh-oh. NGO, okay. So now they need a second ice. He needs a second ice on server 1. He doesn't have a lot of options. Government subsidy, so money matters. Advancing, not the mess in Chesto. So here we could go HQ. The most amount of damage we're expecting to take is 3. In theory, we could flatline to an envelopment. Did Fix mull? Fix kept. So if it's the worst case scenario, which is 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 44 cards, there might only be 6 agendas in there. If there's only 6 agendas in there, there's only 6 agendas in there. That means it's like, what, 6 and 44, so 1 in 8? Just about 1 in 7? So at least we have some time to set up. Okay. I don't think we have to run because I don't think this subliminal message matters that much. Aqua Ceres Crew into Devil Charm is going to be important, but there is going to be some ice in the deck that outscales us. We can Raindrops HQ and just say, like, let it rip. If he doesn't res, he doesn't res, so we'll have an idea what this hand is. Like, I don't think this is super valuable. You sometimes want to res because you have a lot of money, and this is Banhar, but I'll trade this hand for a different hand. Yeah, okay. So, assuming not agenda, maybe it's an SDS. Maybe we should respect that. Okay, it is an agenda. It's a Winchester. Very cool. We actually can trace through that. We don't install stuff. We'll draw up. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think you play the subsidy there if you want to keep it a 50-50 in HQ. Maybe you're not expecting us to pivot HQ, but you definitely need a second ice there, so. Like, this is just 2 damage. Can we Aqua Ceres Crew this? What do we need? We need some help. This is looking like a Rashida. Could be an Angelique, and then something bad could happen to us. I don't think we're that worried about a Rashida, though, so I think we just want to set up because we're a bit slow. We'll put this on R&D, I guess. So let's draw up a bit. Okay, we'll draw up a bit. Fine. We do Sure Gamble Daily Cast. It doesn't put us that much closer to a win condition. Seb's text so far has been blank, but we don't have that many ways to take tags. I don't think we install Friend to Friend to use the ability on it. It's not that great. Like, that's like peak install runner to me. It might actually be okay. Not sure if he's on punitive. I think we could draw and discard here, but I think we probably should just get as much money as we can get. Problem is we're on Cleaver with Leech, so like we're having a really hard time with the big stuff. So we definitely need Aqua Ceres Screw down. And I think we'll just install the cast. We got the time. We're not actually spending money for the next couple turns. Wall to wall. Okay, that's not good. Anything that scales infinitely is a problem, but we can't really afford to. I don't think we can afford to take 2 damage and spend 6 credits to trash this. We just have to hope he gets bored or HQ floods up sooner. Okay, he's not snap playing Subliminal, which is really great. Oh, only 1 turn. So it looks like a Charlotte. I'm assuming it's a Charlotte. Otherwise, you would not play it behind a single ice while we have Banhar. If it is a Charlotte, he can trash it and we won't get Maw. But I'm assuming that's a Charlotte. So, what do we want to draw into? If we had a World Tree, we could do like Sure Gamble World Tree Run. We'd actually probably trade the Liberate accounts. Devil Charm. Okay. So we actually can destroy the server. This is when the runner encounters. This is whenever you encounter. So we have 1 ice we can destroy. So it's up to him not to install it. This would either be a 6 strength tree line or potentially a 5 strength Pharaohs. But that's a really, really good draw. I think we can let this, like, it's so cool if this is not a Charlotte because it looks like a Charlotte. So we're going to just let it go for a bit. Miss Bones is not super necessary in this matchup. I don't think we want to show the Devil Charm. I think the Devil Charm wants to be our pocket play. So I think we mismanaged the turn a bit there. It's hard to get Maw. Especially because it turns on Winchester. Like, we could just run this and see a Trace 3. We spend 3 credits for an Axis is actually relatively fair. I think we can do that. Trash a program, trash a hardware, doesn't matter. We should have done that in a slightly different order. But we'll pay 3 for an Axis. We're through 13 cards. If he boosts into it, so be it. It's not amazing for us, but I leave for 50 minutes to get food and we're a whole different ID now. Yeah, we played a couple as lists. None of them were really that fun. I think the last game we played against was like Grinder, Jinteki, Glacier. And then we just ran. We got through our deck and the deck doesn't do anything. Okay, 3 for a single might be a bit much. If we had a mod down maybe, but then we have to break 2 subroutines. Get lucky. Oh, shit. They didn't play that. That's actually super telling that the access on HQ is a bit better than it looks because they did not play the subliminal messaging. So there's some padding in hand. So we got the best access, the worst access. DJ Fenner's promoted Seb to the main star. Yeah. I didn't even track how much money we saved from Az. Unfortunately, like at the end of the last game, because we're not playing Masterwork Boomerang, like Az's text has a shelf life. And I'm a big Az fan, but like with connections, you do run out of money or run out of like stuff to do. Are you certain crew is good enough to make MOM worth it? No. We're not playing MOM in this deck. This is just a Tuno's World Tree Seb list. Okay, we might have wanted to challenge this sooner than later. There is a line here that we actually like Devil Charm Maw HQ. I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. We have to check that. I'm assuming it's a Spin Doctor. I don't think we miss Bones run it. If it's a wall-to-wall, we should. That's fine. All right. So we Devil Charm. Okay, we can Devil Charm. Takes us down to 9. Run HQ. Devil Charm it, Aquaceres crew, trash it, take a tag, install either Manuel or Friend of a Friend. Thinking. So how many clicks do we need? We need to install the Maw. We need to install the Devil Charm. We have to run. Then we'll take a tag. So that's not very good. So we probably set it up for next turn, I think. That's fine, because I don't think he's going to ice up HQ. I mean, rip it. Cleaver, World Tree, Leech, DJ Fenris. That's a bummer. You don't take a tag if you don't do the -2. Oh my god, Alex, you're so right. Yeah, how's it going? You're right. You only take it. We don't need the -2. We're going to do -6. John, what's going? Get Maw down if you're going to that route. Yeah, 100%. We needed to Maw first, which is why it was 3 clicks. How you doing, man? I think we actually go for the Cleaver here. Like, that's maybe obvious, but it's not like any of the ice is going to work out well for us. Losing DJ Fenris is not that bad. I don't think. We can recur that. It's harder for us to recur the Cleaver. A bit unfortunate. We'll go for the play next turn. Hopefully that we installed the Cleaver. It looks like the Winchester's a bit more robust. We'll see. Yeah, we could have not taken the tag. Kind of wanted the tag, doesn't man well. Okay, they're pushing. Stall advance. That could easily be an SDS. So now we have to figure out what we want to pressure. Daily cast, Banhar. How do we recur DJ? Privileged access. Patty's been sent off the airport. Sent off to the airport? Oh, sorry, cat. Are the two of you going to Worlds too? I think Patty's going to Worlds. Oh, no, you're right. The deck doesn't have Praxis. You're totally right. That's not coming back. Uh-oh. That's fine. Planning on it. Fantastic. Okay. So if that's an SDS and we lose our Cleaver, we actually can't recur our Cleaver if that's an SDS. How do we challenge this? The outermost will Devil Charm immediately. The innermost, we have no way of dealing with it. The problem with Seb, I think actually we do run this. We're going to have to eat our Cleaver anyways, but we probably... I put this on archives. Do you mind? Sorry. This looks like an agenda. So we can just take 3 damage on the outermost and then Devil Charm this. It's like not great. But when in Rome, we could die to envelopment. It's unlikely. It's a rhyme. Sick. Very cool. Very, very cool. Take a damage, save a credit. Understanding where you put the pressure on is really important. So we lost the Mistbones. That was the best hit for us. So we're not going to on and counter. Well, we are, but we're going to do ours first. The question is... Oh, you are in counter. We are going to lose 3. Never mind. The question is whether we take a tag on purpose. We can intentionally take a tag. I can't believe we don't have Praxis. I don't think we take a tag for fun. Do we take a tag for fun? I think we just need cards in hand. SDS, Trash, or Cleaver. Yeah, bummer. But he saw their window. Or he did, excuse me. So now we went into single. We can't actually recur that card. Okay. We might mosh the World Tree. I like Rhyme a lot in Big Ice decks to eat Banhar. Yeah, I like Rhyme more than I thought I do. I really do. Now the server 1 is like a bit ugly. Rhyme hits all ice, not ice behind it, which is kind of neat. HQ is now a 3 credit run as well. But once we install Maw, it's a bit different. So here we don't have much going on. He's drawn through half his deck, no recursion. We've seen 6 points. That's what you expect. It should be 9 points per 22. Advance. Okay, so that's definitely a Pharaohs, which is 10 strength. So it does come down unless there's a Rhyme, and then we can't. Oh, we still could. We could, because you could do the first into the second. We'll put this on, I don't know, archives to make him think we have Praxis. So we're going to moshing. I think we're going to get a World Tree Maw. We need Manuel. Maw, Friend of a Friend. We just need better cards, or different cards, more accurately. We only have 1 Manuel in the list, which is our only multi-access. So draw up, keep cards in hand. Devil Charm is really good. We need another Aquaceres crew. I think we'll draw up Liberated. Raindrops is obviously very good for contesting. We can force some reses. Not that he doesn't have money, Subliminal's coming back. I don't know how we're going to get enough pressure to see our last couple points. Stall advance. Okay. Advance we don't worry about too much. It looks a lot like either an NGO front, but most likely a Charlotte. So this is a 7 credit res. We don't know what this costs. If we put this on HQ, it's 3 damage. That's not good. Do we mosh this hand? I think we mosh the leech. I think our breakers are useless. Like, how do we actually get our cleaver back? We can't, right? There's no recursion for our fractor. So we just lose our fractor. That is going to be a problem. There's no way around that. Okay. All right, holding on, holding on. So that's interesting. The leech is not necessary, so we can mosh the leech. We don't want to mosh the Devil Charm. We don't want to mosh the Manuel because that's our multi-axis. The deck has an Iru? Doesn't have an Iru. Oh, crap. Okay. No Praxis, yeah. No Praxis, no Iru. So my pressure is a bit worse than Elix. Whatever, server 1. We're not going to run it. Draw up. Okay. So we can mosh, leech, strike fund, and raindrops. That's probably fine. Okay, we got Aquacere's Devil Charm. That's sick. So we're hoping that we're going to wait for this to flood up slightly, and then we'll go HQ. A hand is okay to get a click. So far, Seb's text has been entirely blank. That is slightly our choice. In this matchup, it's a bit less interesting. I think we'll show the crew. Leech is really good, right? If you run HQ, you can leech the Winchester, the Aquaceres, without having to Devil Charm it. Okay, draw. Didn't res this. So looking more like an NGO front. Uh-oh. Oh, clearinghouse. Shit. Okay. Can't say I'm in love with that idea. You ever want to leech as an SDS fodder? I think you're right, Lucille. Yeah, we probably do. We still have like 4 more programs in the deck. So, but yeah, keeping a leech around for SDS fodder is good. The issue though is then we'd have to click the draw, and I don't think we want to click the draw. Oh, this is really ugly. So we don't die to this yet. We have no pinhole. So like clearinghouse behind 3 ice is just going to be hard for us. It's not like Cleaver's that good with this matchup. So we could raindrops here, like Devil Charm raindrops, and actually contest the clearinghouse. I think that's probably for the best. Ideally, we're not actually like using the Devil Charm because we need it for centrals, I think. But we want to contest this. So Rhyme doesn't really matter. We can get through 2 ice here. It just has to not have more than 3 subroutines where we die. Not a lot of ice has more than 3 subroutines. Like it's only Envelopment and Archer, and we're not expecting either of those. Okay. So what's Praxis? Privileged access. So they're like run archives, take a tag, install 3 cards or whatever. No, that just fires. Banhar's on our. Oh my god. Yeah, I see what you mean. Banhar is on archives. Thanks. It does matter though, because they might not have rezzed. Yeah, our Banhar is in archives. It's important that's not there. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Shit. You can't change Banhar, right? No. Classic whoops? Tell me about it. What's going on? Okay. Server 1. Take net 3. Value. Yeah, that's a bad whoops. In theory, he had information, like we gained information from that. But yeah, that should not have been where it was. I don't know why I put it on archives. We die to any advanceable trap, really. So this has to be sub 6 strength, which there's... Yeah, it will be sub 6 strength. But then we use 2 charms to Aquacere's crew, and we have no recursion. Yeah, I imagine playing a World Tree deck to this sort of meta is, like, not the easiest. Okay. Eight strength is fine. Crew has text. Oh yeah, that's true. You can double crew. But there's nothing we expect. Like Rhyme gives +1 for sure. I don't think, yeah, tree line's not getting that big. So the question is whether you want to bait out the Devil Charm Aqua Stairs crew or not. Ask away. Yeah, this combo's really strong. Again, we're not expecting this to be the points. We're expecting this to be a clearinghouse. If this is a border control, we actually lose the game. Oh, no, because we draw from raindrops. I very hypothetically, I would res a border. Yeah, totally. Yeah, if this is a border control, it's not good for us. We'll draw 3 from this because we have to end up with more than 4 cards in hand. So, like, we still can just run back the following turn if this gets popped. So you have to, like, pop this and do something else. So the question is whether you can crack it before we pass, and you can. So the rules question is probably like, can you res a border control and use it immediately? You can. Okay. It's a border control. So, any action? So we can let the subroutines fire. That's not good. In theory, he has priority here. On approach, it looks like he passed the priority. Otherwise, once we Aqua Ceres crew it, like he can go first on approach. I get to choose before you do think you can fire that. Once I encounter, I can trash it. So you have to go technically during approach. You can charm and take a tag. Yeah, we would just Aqua Ceres crew and take the tag. We won't charm it. But the idea is that during approach, you can res it and he's still priority window. You can just crack the border control. And then if you do, we have no ability to encounter it. Also, Ceres crew, you can only the ice you are encountering. So as soon as the ice is we are encountering it, we have priority during the first paid ability window during encounter because it's our turn. But during approach, they can trash the border control. So that means we're going to Aqua Ceres crew, which give it -2 strength. Thanks, Seb. And then trash it. No, thank you. Rhyme makes us lose a credit. It's totally fine. Clearinghouse is 3 to trash. Yep, clearinghouse. It costs 3 E6 ODOs. We'll get rid of those. Raindrops. Yeah, raindrops. Skip through draws, yeah, for sure. So we have another clearinghouse. There's only one more Aqua Ceres crew and 22 cards, and we still have to figure out what a win condition looks like. That's not very good. Now this server we can contest. He needs to get another ice there. I'm gonna draw 4, yeah, for sure. So we got 1 from the Rhyme, 3 from the Pharos. So I think we just draw, remove a tag. That's a good hand to go Banharing though. Like we might just Banhar HQ. We lost our only one Manuel, and I'm like not playing this deck. The way that I started to play this deck was assuming that there'll be like praxises and this sort of recursion that I love in Seb. If they install Advance, if he installs Advance Advances, we're in a bad spot. Okay. So probably not the winning agenda. I think here we just get a better hand. There's only one more Aqua Ceres crew, so Devil Charm is still worthy because it breaks code gates. What's the cost of trash to border control? Paid ability window during a run on that server. Otherwise, no cost. This is like one of the alt arts that Cat they drew, so it's sideways, so it's hard to read and not the highest resolution. But just for chat's sake, if I do this, it looks like, oh, apparently that taints the water for all border controls. Bummer. So we'll click on it. So end the run, the 2 subroutines are these. Sorry. Crap. This end the run is just fast paid ability window. So during any paid ability window, trash the border control and this run using the ability only during a run on the server. These 2 are subroutines. That's the difference between a 6606 and a 6604. Sorry, that's a terrible explanation. Yeah, we trashed the Manuel. I don't think we trashed it. We lost it to damage. So we can run R&D. It's actually unlikely that he can res 2 cards, 2 ice. I don't think that's an agenda. We actually could run this to force a res and then run R&D. That's actually a bit better, I think. I just don't think it's an agenda. I think that looks like a Charlotte. If it is, it's not getting scored at, so we can wait. So I think we just do Sure Gamble, run R&D, and force some money out. You can't just end the run early and trash it on approach. You could. Fix decided not to for some reason. Which, like, okay. So now with the tree line, you actually can res the Pharaoh. So we're just going to force it to be resed. Benhar? Nope. Hopefully it hits a steel skin. Nice. And now this looks like a Pharaohs, and then it'll be, oh, actually, no, you can't res it because the tree line didn't fire. So we're going to get an access here on R&D. Might be Hordem. Oh, Hordem would be so bad, Kira, you're right. Oh, it's a cat. It's not good either. They're all pretty bad. Now the problem with the cat is like this actually can get 2 advancements and it can be an agenda. We don't care too much about the SDS drone deployments, but yeah, Hordem would have been terrible. I totally forgot about Hordem. Hordem is such a weird tag. It's a weird design for advanced eyes. You don't see a lot of advanced eyes like that. Just one. All right. The ice one is advanced, so this does look like a not the thing we're worried about. So we have a Mimic. Mimic, unfortunately, doesn't boost into Winchester at all. So we got that going for us. We made a successful run, which is pretty good. So I think we just steel skin and install a card. That was more cards than I thought we'd draw. I've played this game before. World Tree doesn't seem that useful. We can throw that out. Mimic we're going to need. Mimic Double Charm does get HQ, which is fine. Hannah is like, okay. You can just use her to get like clicks, which like, again, we haven't fired Seb's text once. Ugh. The best card in our deck is the last Aquaceres crew. I honestly don't know what we install here. Like maybe Friend of a Friend is an econ card, but we have so much money liberated. We definitely install a card. Installing Mimic into an SDS is pretty bad, but we just need a program on the table anyways. I don't think he's scoring it out. 3 advanced Hordem is game. It is game ending. It is literally game ending. I think I've only seen it classically happen in SSO, and that was back in the day when like Marcus Batty also forced those subroutines. No Liberator practice is kind of wild, yeah. But like Tuno was playing this list really well. It obviously built this list and has been iterating on it for a couple months, but it's not the way I'm playing it. I'm playing as if I have recursion. I think we have 3 Earthrise in the bottom of the deck. That's no way good for us. And Geofront install advance. What was the first click? Install a card, advance a card. What was the first click? Advancing the Pharaohs once? Yeah, okay. So just money. So just more money. Only Tuno is on World Tree Sab. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so there's no way to get through the server because we can't break a cat. We need to draw Aquaceres crew as our only option. So I do think we actually end up pricing. So we'll go R&D. We'll price for an Aquaceres crew. Leech is interesting, but only if we make successful runs, because Leech beats Mimic infinitely. So we should have had this on Archives, but we'll just force some reses. If we run Archives, what's the worst case scenario? I think the worst case would be Hammer. Which Hammer wasn't out when a deck like this won Worlds. And I think it is worth playing. We can always Devil Charm the Hammer if it's really bad for us. We just want to force some reses here so that we can get a Leech counter so we can go HQ infinitely. Ah, Leech counters. At this point, there's probably an agenda in hand. So we probably steel skin. I think he wants to res. I think he sees that the Leech counter is good. Oh, click. Hold on there. On Archives. Yeah, I think ideally we wanted to put our Benhar there. We're not an Ice Carver cat, I don't think. Oh, that's decent. Get it? No Ice Carver. It's not a connection. I think we'll just draw. We don't actually use money well. Okay, we have a weak server Charlotte. That's more cards in hand. So if Fix doesn't do install advance. At this point in the game, we've gone through no recursion so far. We've gone through, it's going to be 20 cards, 24 cards. So you're assuming there's at least another agenda in play. Something went wrong. Oh, they don't want to return it. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I can see how this deck is good, but it seems difficult. I think this deck was played also into like horizontal NBN matchups, which is a cool matchup, right? The idea that like AR enhanced security lets you install your cards, the idea that World Tree is uncontested. It's like, this is not what you want to play into. what was it? Triple advanced Pharaohs or double advanced Pharaohs? Okay. So ideally we draw into a way to break archives or way to break HQ. I think we want to go HQ here. We have 1 Maw and 11 cards, and we have 1 Buzzsaw. We also have 1 Aquaceres crew. So this is actually like a pretty skill testing Banhar. Let's talk about it. Running Winchester is expensive. I think we put it on archives, because worst case we can run archives for 1 damage, run HQ. So let's Steel Skin. We drew nothing of what we needed. The worst case is this price hits the Aquaceres crew and the Buzzsaw. If that happens, we're in a bad spot. So I'm going to run archives, run HQ. Are you feeling lucky, y'all? Do you think we can rip the price and hit a Maw and not hit the Buzzsaw? YOLO. Nailed it. Super nailed it. It's just that easy. 4 cards left. Buzzsaw down there. Aquaceres crew down there. That's not a good hit, but we only have 1 more Aquaceres crew, so whatever. Hey, Carrie, we're trying like connection decks. We tried to play Meeting of the Minds in Criminal and like as a build around, and it was bad. It wasn't good. So now we're just playing Tuno's World Tree Seb, which this is a rough matchup to show off the deck. Winchester, more like it's still in hand. 2 Winchesters is gonna be hard for us, that's for sure. Yeah. So we've now gone through a lot of cards. Winchester. Classic. Classic Nuving. More like Winchester. All right, so this Pharaohs is a problem. It's 11 strength because of Rhyme. Oh, we can still break it in theory. Install Advance? What is that? NGO? Like if you install Advance this, install Advance Charlotte? That can't be right. Oh, Trojan Horse? The fuck? God, what a life. Wait, what does Trojan Horse say? Wait, we could have boosted into that. I think we did this wrong. Wait a second. Trojan Horse, if successful, trace 4. What was the trace? I can't tell. All these symbols. It was 6. Wait, I could have boosted that. Yeah, it's not on strength. It's not on success. Yeah, we have to make him pay more into that. Unfortunately, we know what he's targeting. Okay, because this is really important. Trace cards are interesting when they actually care about not just like binary success or failure, but they care about the difference. And so this is a care about the difference one. We obviously didn't boost into it, so it's like also on us. But like, yeah, it's neat. So this is Trojan Horse. Unfortunately, we did the mistake of touching a card. So do you want to boost? You can confirm the trash. Okay, so if we want to keep around our Mimic, we just have to succeed by, well, in theory, if we want to keep our Leech around, we have to succeed by everything, which we can't. Shit. So is the Mimic any good without the Leech? I don't think so. Hey, Tehran, we did commentary for 1 round of the team tournament. Did you play in the team tournament? And we've been playing some like resource-based stuff. So if we pay 5, by amount of which your trace strength exceeded the runner's link strength. So we still lose a leech. This is our final leech. So if we lose the leech, we still can't beat Winchester. So our Mimic is only as good as the leech. So I think we boost nothing. I got crushed, chilling and excited for tomorrow. Yo, good luck tomorrow. I'm really excited to see you play. I think we just let this go. I don't think we want to pay 5 and still lose the leech. Lol, St. America. Now, if we paid 1, we could protect the Maw. That actually might be worth something. It forces the issue, but we saw what he did last time. Boost nothing means you can lose the Maw, though. Yeah, I'm assuming he's not going to change his target. Okay, I'll boost 1. I'll boost 1. Oh, save. Yeah, I think that's fair. So it's either the Mimic or the Leech now. You doing any commentating? No, I don't think so. I think the commentating is going to be local. But there was no commentary today, so I don't know if there's technical issues or not, but they were doing local commentary, Tron. At least last I heard from Etienne. Okay, so we know in the next 4 cards we have a Buzzsaw. We want to run server 3 just to see what it is. We want to check archives. It's program only? Oh. Neat. Yeah, it's program only. Cool. Found a USB drive. So we want to figure out what we want to do here. So Winchester is, we have to put it on Winchester, right? There's just no way we get through Winchester. What a card. Yeah, it's not a fun card. Okay, so we can draw once. We probably want to run server 3. We probably want to run HQ. We're going to run out of cards for Benhar at some point, that's for sure. I think we run server 3. He didn't advance Charlotte, so this has to be better than Charlotte. Maybe he just doesn't want to draw cards, so he only draws 1 card a turn. I'll start here, I guess. I don't know what this could be. I don't expect it to be a trap. Yeah, whatever. So it was a click, 2 clicks for 7 credits or 6 credits. That's fine. Okay. So I think we should run HQ. I think he would have iced it up with the second Winchester if he had cards in hand, though. If he had ice. So that's a problem. So I think we actually have to get the Winchester out of hand sooner than later. So I'm going to run HQ and take 3 damage. Am I trying my force and stuff on playing Essa and Ob after this with my new Yakuza arts? Oh, cool. Did you get the Yakuza, like the pulsating op? That's been on my wish list for a bit. I wasn't able to pick it up at Worlds. I'm glad that he made more. All right. Cool. If we don't trash this, we get a Maw. That's the reason we're not trashing this. So we could have got the Winchester. We know the first one wasn't the Winchester, so it's we know there's a Spin Doctor in hand and maybe a Winchester. Draw. Draw. Okay, we got the Buzzsaw at least. You like funky decks? Try Nanook Essa, never steal, only trash. Yeah, but then you run and you lose, right? 50-50 is a Winchester? Yes. So Spin Doctor survived, so now I think it's very likely it's a Winchester. So he needs ice on HQ. We only have 6 more hit points. Now the problem with Spin Doctor is, like, if we did hit an agenda on archives, we have to at least run the Spin Doctor. So here we at least run the Spin Doctor. We have no way of beating the Winchester besides tracing, so we're getting locked out. Luckily, we have double check, and Aqua Ceres Crew is the last card in our deck. So the best case scenario is that we can run through tree line once a turn, take a damage, trash the Cat, and then we'll win off of a single run on. I did not mean to put that on RD, but I don't think it matters. So you can't let us touch this because we get a Maw? Well, you can. It's just not great. That's what Imp is for, but I'm suggesting it to Tron since he plays some fun stuff. Oh, that's kind of neat. I've just been so frustrated with Nanook, and like Nanook is 4 influence, so. Is the last card Aqua Ceres Crew? It might be 50-50. Okay, it's not. So our next turn is like, I think we need the Buzzsaw. It was Charlotte Clearinghouse. Okay. So this could be the Winchester. I don't actually think we need money. Let's try and obfuscate what we're capable of until he makes a play. This is going to be another like 20 turn game, unfortunately. And we only can make so many runs. If he puts a second ice or third ice on R&D, we have a problem. Imagine we had an Ash in here, huh? If we had an Ash in here, it would actually be okay, I think, maybe. Okay, if that's an agenda, there's still 3 agendas in the game. Last time I tried Imp Nanook, the Corp just scored a 2-1. Oh, it's when they scored 2. I forgot. I thought it was just you. Yeah, that card's ass. Okay, we're assuming there's no agendas in archives. So we have a 1 in 4 of losing the Buzzsaw. I think we're not going to take that risk. Who's playing 2-1s? Look, get burnt once, twice scared. The bear ditches you once on your first date, you don't call the bear back. The neck just does not make sense with install costs. It was kind of balanced around Cabin SOU to some extent, so that's unfortunate. Could we pressure this server? Wait, why didn't we pressure this server? This is definitely an agenda. We know this is not a border control. We can destroy 8 strength ice. Oh, 9, 10. Oh, we're 1 leech counter short. Holy shit. Wait. The winning play was Buzzsaw, run archives, Aquasair's crew, run server 1. What are we doing? Oh, no. No new information. The damage we got off of Treeline was information. Oh, that's really frustrating. Yeah, we should have thought it out. I shouldn't be doing it. I should be running the remote. Okay. That's very kind from our opponent, but yeah, our play should have been this. I have a way better play. We got damage information off Banhar, but my hand is unplayable. Yeah, so the play is server 1, Banhar crew, run archives. Oh, if there's a virus in here, we lose the play line, but it's fine. No, thank you. So we're just looking for Noma virus. We know some of these were milled from hand, so we're looking at a Winchester and a Pharos. And now we float a tag, so we could lose, but like this is 11 strength, so we have minus 11. Rhyme doesn't matter. Yeah, we probably win here. I need to focus. Great. This leaves us down to like 2 cards for Banhar. And we're going to float a tag. It doesn't matter. So it's at 5 strength. 4. Leech is so good with Aquasair's crew. I want to play triple Leech Seb. It's so good. Goodbye. How much longer are you planning on streaming, Tron? Probably only like half an hour, maybe. Yeah, Leech is just so cool. Let's go. Yeah, GG. Yeah, I totally. That's why you keep the Leech around. More than the Mimic, I think. Leech Aquasaurus gives you a bit more reach, especially when we saw the big Pharaohs. Thanks for the game. Oh, no way. Yeah, I lose to Mav in archives there. Yeah, it's really good. We're counting on that. I think you know I have 1 I don't know how to spell it. 1 crew left. Yeah, we don't have recursion. That's a bit tricky. But still, like, if he spends a lot of effort on 1 big ice, like, we can bring it down. It does take a bit of resource. I'm so disgusting. I'm so sorry. A lot of resources. Thanks for the game. No one knows how to spell it? I think Portuguese folk do. My best guess. I'm not seeing it. It's technically open there. I didn't look at it. So my best guess is Arusier. That looks wrong. Arusier. Aqua Saris crew. Shit, it's not highlighted. Okay. Aqua East. Okay, I did it pretty bad. Aqua. We should remember this. Sierra's crew. Whoa. Aqua. Right. Sierra's crew. Nailed it. Netnick is the best for quests. Very fun with Flameout. Yeah, that's the whole like Cabanessa. Hey, FixB, thanks for the game. Really was too impatient for a couple times. I think if you triple ice everything, I'm cooked. Like this server, I can't deal with 4 ice. I can deal exactly with 1 ice, 1 Banhar. Unfortunately, Rhyme is where it is, which technically mattered. Like it costs a leech token. But yeah, if you play slower, I think it doesn't favor me. Unless you flood up. If you flood up, obviously Moss sends it. But like HQ, I only have a couple more runs in the game because I run out of cards. Unfortunately, like the slow grind, which is like a lot of people don't want to play like that, is like definitely a play pattern. That works. It wins worlds. I'm not good with long games. I become impatient. Yeah. Yeah, you need to channel your inner Sokka and just be like, I know what my game plan is. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to get there. Because also the longer you play, the more likely you're also the runner gets impatient. Which we saw that in like one of the last games I played against the Jinteki deck. Like you just get impatient and you do stuff. It's something to be said. This conversation I was having recently, it's like the faster your opponent plays or the slower your opponent plays, it has an impact on you. And I know when I was playing in person, when I was a newer player, I played incredibly fast. Faster than they probably should have been. But I heard feedback that had impact on your opponents. It's like if you play against someone and they're playing like their turn takes 15, 20 seconds, it builds this like weird social contract in your head where you think, oh, I also should be playing at that speed. Because otherwise you feel awkward. And it's not something I do intentional, but it's like, Oops. It has an impact. Let's just try and build one super aggro Seb. As aggro as we can be on Seb. It says, oh, taught me to take it slow, put my feet up, channel my inner Jimmy Buffett. You're playing a Whalen deck, you definitely put your feet up. Okay, let's make as aggressive as we can from Seb. I feel like we've done this once before, but I want reasons to run. I feel like we have an aggro Seb we built. Let's see how much it would change over the couple of while. It's got to hop off as a fun stream. Hey, David, enjoy your weekend coming up. Thanks for hanging out. Faster Seb? Question mark. Okay, so we did 3 Botchels, 3 Fermenter, 2 Stargates, no breakers. I'm just going to play this list, I think. 2 Banhar, 2 Miss Bones, Lagu is very fast, Hannah, Friend of a Friend, DJ, Aquasair, Screw, Daily Cast. Devil Charm, Hermes was like our trick to win the board state. Let's just play this. We definitely already have this on JNet, but this looks really fun. Seb, ask Joe. Faster Seb, 83% win rate, undefeated on JNet. Devil Charm, Hermes, Praxis. I think this is exactly card for card. DJ Fenris is generally for Steve. I think there's a chance we want 3 Stargate, but hopefully we find one sooner than later. That's not the deck we want. Hey. Own is cool, 1993. Good year, a lot of sun. Nuvang, 54 cards. Opening hand, we have an early Lagu. We have a Steel Skin, Friend of a Friend, Hannah. Hannah's really good if our opponent is playing assets. We have Economy with Fermenter. We want to not die to Punitive, which, like, holding Steel Skin. Oh, no way. Welcome back. Best of luck, have fun. I think we can keep this hand. It's not incredibly aggro. The best case scenario is we have Hannah to check remote servers. We have Foaf of Admit. And we have Lagu. I like Lagu. Lagu's great. Nanook is awful for quests because you have to install a turn before to have the clicks to do the quest, and the corpse just scores. They hit a 1-pointer. Yeah, ideally, like, you're installing it with, I don't know. Oh, they did not trash the top. You're installing it with like Simulchip or Cabiness or something, but I hear you. I definitely hear you. Draw. Okay, Diesel would be a bit too many cards. So I think we just want to do Lagu Fermenter draw or Lagu Fermenter credit. And we'll rip the Lagu no matter what happens. Yep. Lost to Botchus. Okay. Card draw into card draw. Our Corporation mulliganed. Icing up Spin Doctor. Can be quite valuable. Ah, advanceable ice. Gaining money doing it. Feels pretty cool. Okay. Diesel. I don't think we've cracked a friend to friend all day. We got to remember that Seb has text. We're just not using Seb's text. You always rip Nuvum no matter the card. I think that's strictly wrong. Luckily, Nick like left a comment in the last video because we played his Nuvum deck. And I think like there are actually a lot of board states where you don't rip Nuvum. I think it's still 9 to 10 that you don't. But 1 out of 10 times, like 2 credits doesn't matter. Your win conditions on top of your deck, like it's not as black and white as you want it to be. And I think it's actually funny if it was mandatory. If it was mandatory, I think I'd like the ID maybe a bit more. Like, are we doing install runner? Are we install runnering? Oh man, I don't like this. I think we're install runnering. Wee, was that good? We spent 2 clicks to gain 6 to install this to save 4. I don't know. We don't know what they're up to. We have no way of dealing with ice. Losing a botchless is pretty rough. Not icing up archives, never mind. It's pretty good for Praxis. But like we are not drawing our pressure. We're drawing our all like our dirtily Seb cards. Credit, okay. Go. Banhar is good, Daily Cast is good. Miss Bones is not exactly necessary. We have Fermenter. We're gonna try and not hit that for as long as we can. It looks like the card that was trashed off the top of the deck was Subliminal. Just ripping it. You do kind of want to first click sometimes with Nuvum, do the rip. But we're shuffling back. Hedge fund unseen, so that might have been agenda. That's really cool when you see that sort of like proactive filtering from Nuving. We can beat most 2 servers. Aquaceris, getting that is sick. This deck has leeches in it. I think it does. Then draw. We should contest this. We'll generally just do Hannah. Okay, icing that up. So the question is whether we do Miss Bones or Hannah. So Daily Cast, Fermenter. Put it on server 1. What's the most subroutines this can have? Draws no aggro cards, everything's fine, don't give. What's the most? So Aquaceris Crew is nice. Miss Bones might be valuable. 4 credits should trash just about everything. Let's just send it. No further action. Okay, so we're not going to get our Miss Bones down. Am I in trouble? Question mark. Game over? Question mark. Like the card. Miss Vingo? Miss Vingo would have been 4. Yeah, you're right. I don't expect too much Miss Vingo. Miss Vingo just doesn't line up well to Cleaver. I'd be very surprised to see Miss Vingo. What? Why? Why did we get that so easily? Interesting. Do we fermenter? Like, we're not gonna get 6 punitive, let alone we have steel skin, so we usually survive that. Oh no! Oh no way! Oh no! I think they might have missed the Banhar. Oh, so sorry. Oh, sorry. No worries. Okay. We can draw and discard, so we don't actually have to hit the Aquaceres Crew is not unique. I always forget that. So these do stack in a way that is pretty annoying. We could Hana for tempo. I don't think we have a huge incentive to do that. So I think we're just going to install... Well, we could Hana for tempo, but we didn't get the tag. We want to Hana for tempo when we have the tag. So we'll just install another Aquaceres Crew, click for credit. If our opponent purges here, we're pretty happy. Having a click for 10 credit button is obviously pretty good. Rip it. Sick. That was like the best combination. Okay. So daily cast, Banhar. We're going to put this on server 1. So I think we're going to do Hermes for sure. I think we're going to do Miss Bones. I'm assuming this is an asset. So I don't think we need money. We'll just Hana this. 4 cards in hand and a steel skin. We should be relatively safe. We actually don't die to anything. Rashida. Okay. If they purge, it's fine. I don't think we're going to steel skin. I think we're just going to click to draw. Devil Charm is really good. We want to put the pressure on once we get a Manuel or something, or a Stargate. So we're going to keep that close to our chest. Do we fermenter? We actually don't need the fermenter money. Like, we don't actually spend a lot of money because we have no breakers. So all our money is for trashing and installing cards. So if the corporation ever purges a fermenter, we're okay with it. Please give us a Stargate. Wrong order. That's fine. Okay, so we're assuming now this is hard to get through. This is probably a Pharos. And then the outermost, we can maybe Bonchulus. So daily cast, Banhar Fermenter. There's definitely an agenda on the table, considering they've gone through a couple cards. So we'll put this on server 1. So we can't beat another Pharos, which is a hard res. So I think we just do Botulus. We actually probably just Devil Charm. I think Devil Charm gets us pretty far. Yeah. This is where we're hammering their mode server. Hana feels really good. We've got a lot of free clicks from Hana. Okay, it's a tree line. We'll take the damage from that, and ideally we trash... Oh, we can't trash our 10 strength Pharos, can we? Oh, so this was a bit botched. But no matter what, we eat our Banhar here. So it's either do we Devil Charm this? I think we just take the damage. And hopefully that this is not a Pharos. But Devil Charm we can get in for 2 tags. Oh, right, we have 2 Aquaceres Crew. You're totally right. We lost a Foaf. That's fine. So ideally you res something very expensive here. Yeah, you're totally right. We can do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can exactly get in. We end up taking a lot of tags, though. We have to also remember this costs 2 credits, which, like, I'll easily forget. Do they res? No res. Alice. That's really unfortunate we bounced this for them. They're probably not having a great time. Let's be honest. That's super, super rough. They probably wanted to res that just to not get the bounce. Okay. I'm going to crack for 12. I actually don't think we have to, as perverse as that is. What card could that be? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think with Hermes, you probably just res it. Like, the most expensive advanceable ice is 7. Maybe they don't want to give a tag because of Seb text, but I'm going to Fermenter to play around Public Trail. Like, we don't have to, but, like, it feels okay. But now we're in game point. So, like, binning a 3-pointer, not that they look like on 3-pointers, they might be more on a seamless launch kind of deck. Now I'm going to put him behind. Yeah, it's really, really bad. Advanceable ice can be frustrating against Hermes. The big thing is, like, they did tree line it, so it actually was tempo positive slightly. I mean, we're just going to keep running that. In theory, you want to put the card in their mode server first. You get a slightly more information. It's not a huge difference, though. Daily cast, Fermenter. Banhar in server 1. You've seen the play. We just want to run this. We've got so many clicks from Hana. When Hana's good, Hana's great. Ooh, shame that's going to get deleted permanently and you're going to hate the game of Netrunner. This feels so bad. I think we keep a Devil Charm. We just do double Aquaceres Crew. That's really rough. I thought they asked for Feather Gloves. We're just, like, running the remote server. I hear you, but, like, this is how you beat Advanceable Ice. We don't double charm that. It's 4 strength, so we can just do Aguaceres, no connection. These are all unique. Aguaceres. Sorry that your ice got destroyed. It feels so bad. We can't break this easily. I think we just say that if it's an agenda, it's an agenda. I don't want to Aguaceres charm it. In fact, I don't think we can. Oh, we can. This will give us a 3rd tag, though. Well, that's going to force our hand here. I would feel terrible. On advanced NGO front, wild. Okay. So we probably Hannah. On 4 credits, we can run R&D for a single here. We have 5 clicks. We're running HQ. Remote deleted. You know how much ice we just went through? We cost 2 Aguaceres crews, so like we just want to put the pressure on now. This is where you drop a Stargate and go. Or like this is where having a Praxis would be sick. I'm assuming there's other agendas in hand. We've gone through a fair bit of cards. Fair few cards. You know what would be annoying here? A Winchester. Just a boarding control, okay. Making money back is pretty good. We'll run R&D. We just want to touch cards. Afshar, okay. Draw. I think we do it now. The only thing that blows us out is the descent. We float a tag though. That's not that good. We'll put a Hannah. But ideally we install Hannah with, yeah, I think we just click for credit and throw at Philagu. There's a def version of this at least turn 1 adjacent. There's a wild amount of value. It's just really hard, right? Like you can play Hoshiko. Like you're forced here to do so much to make your cards playable that luckily here we have the breathing room. It's really tricky to pilot and it's really tricky to play. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's actually better than any of the other Anarch options. The cool thing is that if you play against NBN, you can make some of their ice good for you, but then if you get oppoed, your ID gets blank. It's like, I could see it, but I think it's going to need 1 or 2 more cards before it's actually tier 1. I think it's like a tier 2 deck that requires a good meta and something interesting to happen. We'll go Archives. I think we'll just start with the Praxis. We probably can just do Botulus Praxis. Do we die to anything? No. With the Steel Skin, I don't think we do. So we don't touch cards here. We don't flip. It's a Hordem. Okay. So maybe we shouldn't have done both Banhar. Oh, hold on. Sorry. In theory, we should break the other one so they don't. Oh, it doesn't matter. It totally doesn't matter. What am I doing? Because it doesn't resolve. It just becomes net damage. So we could either lose 2 cards from our hand. I think losing 2 cards from our hand is actually better than using the Botulus token. We shouldn't have Botulus this. Well, actually, if this hits damage, but we got it in the right order. Aguaceres crew. Breach. So we'll do Seb to install from hand a crew. Access for a resource. This is just so much value. Probably a friend of a friend or I think a cast. I think we just want, actually we don't need money. I think it's been Hannah. Now probably another crew, let's be honest. Yes, Stargate down. Oh my god, at least we have a Botulus, so this probably wins the game. This is where like Aggro Seb can be fun. Like just getting a Stargate, 2 crews. Like imagine we had leeches. This deck has no leeches, and I think that's a big thing we need to change. Is we have Botulus, Fermenter, and Stargates. I don't think we need the Fermenters. Hammer, Hordem. Okay, Hammer's actually really ugly for us to deal with. Not that they can afford it. We can afford to float a tag. There's a way that we die to Public Trail. Let's just not do that. Seb wants Neoprints of Off-Campus Apartment and Fall Guy. I don't think you can float tags and play Off-Campus Apartment. Banhar will go on R&D. So we know that they drew a Hordem. We unknowns in the bin. So we'll do draw. Fenris is good if we can go HQ, which we can't really draw. All right, Stargate could win the game. But Virus, Hammer, Winchester. Okay. Winchester on HQ, and we're not that worried about it. Hammer's annoying, because if it's on the table, it's really annoying. Mavirus, we can just run back and trash. I know it purges our Fermenter, but we don't care. Okay, holding on. Just being able to play this console reasonably would help with fire. Yeah. We just need 1 or 2 cards. I'm dumb? No, you're not. Oh, yeah, for sure. We can, no worries. Counter B0. It's all good. Yeah, they declined the purge. Okay, so that could be the Winchester. 5 credits means we're gonna go for Stargate for sure. Fermenter, Botulus, Banhar on R&D. We don't care about the hand. We'll just Stargate. Also the Botulus. Oh, that's true. Yeah, well, hold on. Counter B1. Looks like this is an expensive card. Or they just don't want to lose it to 2 crews. Basalt Spire. Run Archives. That's a good game. Ooh, a lot of points in there. Sorry, board state. Man, Stargate and Hermes together. You don't see it that often. It is quite fun. Make a game. Sorry about that. Oh, no way. Yeah. Crew is really rough into the ice. Did they use a Spin Doctor? Yeah, maybe you need a Spin Doctor to fix the hand. Yeah, the 54 card deck can be a bit inconsistent. Do you have Punitive or something like that? Like, I don't know what else we're playing around. So far we just saw it looked like Good Ice and Punitive. I guess with Pivot you might be on it. I think Pivot's just playable. Oh, right on. Cool. I haven't seen the big deal versions in a while. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they drew the good part of their deck. A lot of ice. We trashed a bunch of this ice, and like Stargate giving you control to continue to retain your aggression is super, super valuable. Because like once they can stabilize with economy or ice, we're in a bad spot, so we can just keep it down. And like we're playing no breakers. And maybe we need a third Banhar. I think it's very like the fact that we drew Banhar had a huge impact on this game. So I think this list needs to like you can tune it very easily. Thanks for the game too. Okay, we've been streaming for 4 hours. I think that's going to be it for today. We didn't stream on Thursday. Again, if you're tuning in this weekend, it is going to be EMEA Continentals for the whole weekend. That should be up on twitch.tv/nullsignal Netrunner, which is an ad for Public Mobile. So you can go watch that great ad. But it'll be on all weekend. Shout out to the folks in Italy and Bergamo. They're having a great time out there. I'm super jealous. Looks like a fantastic event. There's a lot of folks out there. I think we're going to see about 100 people in person, which is going to be the biggest in-person event, I think, this year, barring Worlds itself, if my guess. Otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out. Dan, sorry we can't make it on Thursday. But it's good to be back on a Friday. I don't think we're gonna have video content out for a bit. We might have something on Monday that'll be closer to a replay review than the next upcoming Alphabet series. We've constantly been behind for a bit. There's gonna be 1 week in July we'll be off on a bit of a go see family thing. So I'm hoping to get a bunch of video content out so we can just like have Tuesday and Thursday have a video piece. That would be very, very good. But I need to put my nose to that grindstone for sure. And do you know why? Well, hey, thanks to folks like this that support the Metropole Grid on Patreon. I am so appreciative. That allows me to put the time to take afternoons off to do this sort of thing, to record, to edit. All this stuff takes a lot of time. So thanks to y'all so much. If you want to support the Metropole Grid at any level, you can find the link in the description. Also, if you want to take a second to like the YouTube VOD, if you're watching live, that is also a huge help. Like it's generally one of the easiest things you can do to support the channel if you don't want to spend any money, which is also appreciated too. So thanks so much to all these names and the Daily Cast patrons as well. Tickets for Worlds are up if you want to go grab them. Again, I know I'm talking to a lot of people that are sorting out their lodging and their flights. I have all that stuff ready, so I can confirm I'll be at Worlds. I will be casting. We don't have a casting schedule yet, but I'm trying to get as involved as possible, and I'm super stoked for the cast this year. Last year was a lot of fun, and every year it only gets better, so it's gonna be sick. That's mostly it, y'all. Take care. If you're watching this in Bergamo, good luck. Hopefully getting some rest. It's probably like 8 in the evening. Maybe you're out for a nice dinner. That's probably makes sense. Turn off your phone, hang out with some friends. I think that's it. Take care, y'all. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.